Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We're seeing North American stock futures, little change so far this morning, back in positive territory, but not doing a heck of a lot at this point. Markets coming off pretty solid performance. Once again, last week we had both the Dow and the NASDAQ up about 2.5% to end the week last week. Actually, the Dow was 3.8%, the S&P and the NASDAQ 2.5% to end last week. We had the S&P 1.2% below all-time highs at the end of last week, which was nice to see. NASDAQ closed multiple times last week at all-time highs. Continuing talks over the possibility of an extension as far as COVID-19 aid in Washington continuing this week after things kind of dwindled out at the end of last week as far as the negotiations go. Between the two sides, it was the heavyweight tech sector that led the rally for the market last week, with Facebook, Apple, Amazon all sharply higher at the end of the week. Once again, last week, we're watching shares of some of the cannabis makers moving around early on this morning. Canopy Growth reporting earnings, better than expected earnings before the market this morning. Eastman Kodak back in play. Yeah, Weed Batman might be making an appearance later on this morning. Eastman Kodak back in play this morning. Questions about their $750 million government loan being raised. Candy Technologies reported this morning as well. Lots to get to, guys. It is Monday, August 10th, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. Look at APAC region markets from the overnight session. You can see, for the most part, a bit of a mixed showing here. We had Korea nicely higher. Everything else pretty much to the downside. Let's go over to Europe and see how things are looking. Yeah, a little change, but in positive territory. We'll shift over to North America and see more of the same positive numbers, but yeah, little change so far to start the new week. TSX futures here in Toronto pointing to a 0.15% gain. We'll have a look at CGC on the U.S. side, weed here in Toronto. Brazil already open, trading higher. Bitcoin back to the upside once again, 3% higher. In fact, crude oil and gold also both in positive territory. Interesting moves happening, guys. Just as we're sitting here preparing for the show, a little bit of news on Nikola coming out with a bit of a contract there for some garbage trucks. It would be nice, I think, to see electric garbage trucks, maybe not so loud early in the morning.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
I haven't even thought about that.
I wasn't thinking about the sound. I was sort of thinking about the future coming in here, obviously. Good contract for them. I wish I got my darker blue shirt notice this morning, looking dapper, both of you guys. The blue, unfortunately, the Toronto Maple Leafs are gone. What else is new? But I think we can put some smiles on as traders, because it looks like it's going to be a wild one this morning. Didn't even mention the nonsense that happened in top ships. I don't know that I've seen a reverse split fall 50% in the pre-market and start to rally all the way back. So lots of things to watch today. The big one, of course, just popping in there with Nikola getting that contract up almost, what was it, like 8%, 9% right now.
Yeah, big move. I wanted to take 40. 40 is a big spot there, and we're breaking it right now. So we're going to have to take 40, 50 eventually, but I'm not going to take it in the pre-market. What up, Joey G? Hello, what's up? Yeah, we're going to rock it for you today, starting right now when we review our watch list. Make sure you grab the watch list. Valeria dropping the link, watchlist.tradertv.live. Brendan.
Yep, lots to get to so far this morning, guys. We'll talk about Nikola here. I'm going to grab the story so everyone can see the headline. In fact, 2,500 electric garbage trucks. Before we do that, though, let's go over to the desk and say good morning to Valeria.
Good morning and hello everyone. I hope you had a great weekend and welcome back to trading. Guys, sign up to our daily free watch list at the link I'm sending on the chat and subscribe to this channel to receive notifications when we are back on air. Please support and smash the like button. Back to Brandon and let's get it started.
Yeah, let's indeed get it started. Yeah, there's a little bit of news on Nikola we'll get to, but let's talk a little bit about what's coming up later in the show today first. Brand new educational video coming your way about 11:45, 11:50-ish. We're going to talk all about trend trading, or trading the trend. One of the time-tested strategies that has lasted throughout history. So we'll touch on some of the keys when it comes to what is a trend, how do you define a trend, and how do you join a trend trade. So look forward for that. Valeria will have the link for you coming up later in the show. So yeah, it's 2,500. We can show my screen here, guys. 2,500 electric garbage trucks being serviced from Public Services, the second largest public services company down in the U.S. So nice little contract there for Nikola. That news coming out just before we came on the air. Guys, why don't we take a little bit of a more in-depth look at Nikola to start after that?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I've been buying
We'd love to
Nikola
take
on the
the
way
top.
down here in my own account throughout. So this is a nice little headwind or tailwind, I guess, now for Nikola. And this is just a daily chart. It's not going to look so crazy because obviously it just came from VTIQ. So it's $33 all the way up here to 90 and change. Now making a little base down here. I love this little base that we've created at $34 as a bottom. Now we spike up through 40. I mean, again, we were burned too many times last week by pre-market trades and just not getting our money in at the right spot. But this $40 would have been pretty sweet. It's just up here. It's the top of this little candle right there, $40. But yeah, we still have other levels to go here. 42.50 could come through faster than you think. I mean, look at this thing, guys. This is a straight rocket ship up. I mean, and I just put it on Twitter. And when was this, guys? This was 13 minutes ago. So that's why I put my Twitter account on there. If you look 13 minutes ago, guys, this is a 3-minute chart, but look at how much this thing has gone right now. A lot of people trying to get their money in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 13 minutes ago, somewhere down here, 39, 40 and change. You could have made a buck on that move. We're going to wait to see what it's doing. But the volume, obviously, guys, increasing like crazy right now through the roof there. Nice little contract win. And look, more of these to come, I would hope, for Nikola and their shareholders.
Yeah, I mean, you would certainly think that this could just be the start. I mean, they don't even have the product out yet. And certainly, if this goes well, you can imagine what happens in the future. If we pull back into that 40 anytime, we saw the breakout that price, but also worth noting, if you did go to the daily chart, it was also a bit of a bottom if you want to go to the end of June. And then that little point, we're waiting for the breakout last week. So that's going to be support for me at some point if we can even have any chance of getting there. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if you saw 42.50, like Sean said, and that could even happen at a spike in the next.
Could happen right now,
minutes.
yeah.
Yeah, it could happen any second.
Republic Services Group, guys, is the contracting company. So Republic Services is RSG in New York. If you want to look at the other side of this deal, hasn't done anything in the pre-market here, no volume whatsoever. But RSG, the other side of that deal, ordering those 2,500 electric garbage trucks. Let's go to Eastman Kodak, guys. Some questions, to say the least, when it comes to the $750 million government loan that Trump's administration handed out to Eastman Kodak to start Kodak Pharmaceuticals to develop some of the ingredients that are used to put in vaccines specifically for COVID-19. So both the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation and the SEC investigating how this loan came to be.
Yeah, easy come, easy go, and it's going to be a hold to look. You have options that basically were given like the day before the contract came through, and there was increasing volume in the stock the day before. I think indicating that some people knew what was going on. Coming back in, you can sort of see a bottom here at 780. It was a 765. It was definitely the low on the second or third day in the news, depending on how you want to call it there. So I think that would possibly be some support, but you can see almost all of the way back. It was a $2 stock. Some have put the value of this new business in the range of that $7 or $8 anyway. So if that turns out to be a floor, that 765, 780 pre-market low, interesting enough for me. I'll be looking at this little double top it's trying to put in 970, 975 area. See if we can't short in front of that. So this delay is thrown on top of the fact that almost everyone thought this was overvalued in terms of where the stock went, even if this does happen.
Yeah, no, I mean, Kodak is going to be one of those stocks where we talked about it last week. We had some people even message Neil and myself and Brendan and I like, look, I'm stuck at $30, $40, $50. What am I to do? Well, you should have sold it then because right now, Kodak, not anything good coming from this news here. But it's just so funny. They're dishing out billions and billions of dollars to J&J, to a lot of these other companies. And now Kodak getting the what not for $750 million. So just watch out for 970 here. That was the top. If you're going to be short this name, watch out for getting blown out through 970. Remember, the shares outstanding is still low on this, so if there's some action to be had, I would still say it's to the north side. But traders that are looking to sell this thing may just sell this straight through 850. So, I mean, 980 top, 880 bottom, play it like that.
All right, guys, let's go to the earnings board. First one up, CGC this morning, Canopy Growth reporting a loss, but it was much smaller than expected when it comes to their latest quarter. They also revised with some positive talk for the rest of the year. They have all of their retail locations back open, and they saw very little downturn or negative impact when it comes to the pandemic on both the production side of things and the supply chain side of things. So a nice positive tone, at least, from Canopy this morning.
We've seen this so much from Canopy lately, and that is that, I mean, not just Canopy, I mean, a lot of the weed space lately has given us sort of momentum to the upside and then failed numerous times. But here we go, finally with some real news out, and that is the earnings report. So nice to see, compared to a smaller loss than expected. So that's good, finally, for Canopy. 1850 the top. I wrote down, I mean, if we can break this, that's fantastic. If you look on a daily chart here, again, we're just trying to play a breakout when a company does report. This top, though, guys, 1925. I don't know if we get there today. We're only at 1818, but we could. Temporary top here, 1870. We hit it back in June 23rd. We hit it again in July 16th, and we're back here a month later looking at 1860 as the top spot there. So on a daily chart, I like 1860, but if you're just going to play the open, 1840. Before, Neil, let me just check out here if there's anything on the market and close locator here, market on open imbalance locator. Kodak, 700,000 shares. We already went over that. We'll go over Rocket Mortgage in a minute, but there's CGC, so it's here on a little bit of a sleepy Monday morning. Nice to see 127,000 shares at least to the buy side. Obviously, some sympathy plays in the same industry here. Afria, I like APHA, and I like Aurora, but I like APHA the best out of those two names. But if you're going to trade something with volume, might as well be Canopy this morning.
Yeah, it's probably going to do the most. It's not a huge number, that opening imbalance locator there, but it's certainly worth noting. Holding 18 would be interesting. You just want to go back into Thursday's action and watch that little crossover point at 18. A big move to the downside there. So if we can hold, I think that's going to be a good look. As Sean mentioned, if we break through and get that 1850-60 area break, you are running into a lot of chop and resistance as it gets up to that 19 range. So I'd watch for a rollover in and around that price, maybe if you're going to be short selling.
All right, guys, let's talk Twitter here. Twitter throwing their hat into the ring as far as possible suitors for TikTok's U.S. operations. At the end of last week, you'll remember there was rumors coming out talking about Microsoft being interested in buying all of TikTok's operations, global operations. So this story is specifically about the U.S. operations of TikTok. Worth mentioning, though, as I put in the notes this morning, Microsoft, obviously a massively larger company with massively deeper pockets. So they're obviously still the front runner when it comes to possible buyers for TikTok here.
You can even throw the fact that I think it's like Blackstone coming in there and possibly looking to partner up with Microsoft. I mean, people are talking about TikTok being worth 30 and maybe even up to 50, whatever you want to call it. That Twitter's market cap is basically like 30. So, I mean, I don't know whether you really think this is going to happen over Microsoft. I guess there's a possibility, obviously, that makes some sense from a business standpoint, just in terms of what they do. I don't know that I'm all over buying it. It's in it. Look, Twitter's is certainly in a good, nice little upward trend here. You can see the strength the stock has put in on the daily chart, and I think normally I'd be considering playing it with that trend, but this feels like news that you could be selling. Given I'm not sure how many people are going to be buying into this as a catalyst for them. We'll definitely track it. I'm watching this sort of 37, 50 to 60 area if it does want to come back in. It's not always the most volatile stock in the world, but I'd definitely be defending 37 even as a bit of a buy opportunity if it does come down.
38, we don't, Twitter's a tough stock to trade, there's no doubt about that. You have 38.50 has been the recent highs over the last month or so, that's in July, and then you can come all the way back. This is the problem, like if you use 38.50 as a high, you're gonna run into this one right here, which is 39, so it needs to get through some of these levels. I like, if you're just looking at on a 1 minute chart here, obviously the high right now is 38.25, so not the high, we were up here 38.50, but again, 38.50 I think is the safest break. I'm not going to be playing anything until 38.50, but we will take it for a scalp for sure. If 38.50 comes in, we'll take out the shares and we'll use it and then get out before 39. If it breaks through 39, fine, but I'm hoping to get on this trade like 15, 20 cents. I think you play the momentum through 38.50, and then you just wait for it. I just think there's going to be a hard time. It had a hard time getting through 39 here. We just showed you the daily chart. I like 38.50. 39 stops there on the most volume it had in the pre-market was this shot up to 39. So that means that there's some sort of interest through 38.50, and we'll take that. But still 15 minutes to go. We'll see where it opens up. I don't like the spread right now at 20 cents, Brendan.
Okay, guys, sorry. I was just reading a little bit more about this Nikola deal this morning, guys. Looks like they're saying on-road testing is expected to start in early 2022. So yeah, the initial deal, 2,500 electrified chassis with an option of up to 5,000 units. So it could actually be a little bit bigger than that 2,500. So we'll keep an eye on Nikola. Let's go to Foot Locker, guys. They updated their current quarter same-store sales to the upside. There was an expected big-time decline. I forget what the actual number was. I think it was like 66% expected decline in same-store sales in the current quarter. They estimated now 18% to the positive side. So that was a good number, and they also increased their current quarter sales forecast as well.
Yeah, and the pre-market ramp partiers had fun with this one, I'm assuming, today. Look,
Yeah.
I came in and go from like 33, which was already up $5.50. Get it all the way to 36, and it's come back, $6 move back in, all on very light volume. So it does stand it up 10%, but that doesn't do justice to the action that you've sort of seen in this one pre-market. If it breaks 30, I mean, that would be interesting for me. It's a little bit of a breakdown point. I want to see this one settle down. The volume is not very big in terms of scalability, 500,000 shares here. If you do want to quickly jump, I just want to quickly jump to the daily chart so you can see maybe we find some support if we break that 30. It's a 50 period down around $29. Otherwise, I'm like, it's binary for me. If it holds 30 off the open, I think there's a long in front of that price. If it breaks it, look for a short and a target at 29. Most of that pre-market volume, I think you can throw out in terms of key levels. I don't know how much I'm going to care about that 36 top in the future, given how light the volume was to get there.
I mean, I think this might have just given us a trade finally. 31.50 here. Looks like a great spot. 31.50. I wrote that down. Didn't think we'd get down there, but now we're at 30.50. Look, same-store sales turns positive. That looks good to me. The report seems good to me here, Brendan. So 70 cents, gap fill, minus 67 cents loss. Second quarter earnings coming August 21st. Look at the daily chart, guys. This is where I love this 31.50 level. It's right here. I mean, I don't know. It seems like it makes sense to me. 32 is the upside. 31.50 is right here. It's not like a great spot, but it's not horrible. So I'm playing this one 100%. 31.50 through that, and I'm going to go long. And I don't want to. Short is fine for this stock, but right now I like what their report is. Looking here, there's nothing of interest on the top 15 here for Foot Locker, but Kodak's still ramping up to sell. NIO there as well. NEO coming through, and JP Morgan. Some news right now about U.S. banks, Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs. Highest capital ratios they have to have. So JP Morgan might be in the clear there. But 31.50 for Foot Locker, Brendan. I like it.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve also just coming out, guys, with some new requirements, capital requirements for the banks that will take effect October 1st as well. So worth watching some of the banks here coming up at the open. Let's go to the airlines. We'll talk about AAL specifically. Was definitely the most active in the pre-market this morning as far as volume. We had the news late last week, 16 Republican senators backing a move from Trump to extend the $25 billion payroll aid for the carriers. So a little bit of an extended move here, I think, for some of these, but AAL looking a little positive today.
Yeah, it's sort of holding the top in that $13 range in the end of last week, and I was trying to gap above that. We did kind of take out that 1330 weekly high in the pre-market on, again, light volume before coming back in. So I'd look at a break through the top there. I think it's going to be all about sort of resolving this stimulus. You have executive orders coming in with maybe not what the market was expecting, but some stabilization coming through with what Trump was possibly able to deliver there. I mean, 13 is going to be a bit of a ramp down point. If it can't hold that, I think you're looking at the sort of sell side pullback action that we've seen in the mornings very often. You saw that on Friday, sort of a sell opportunity until the afternoon. I think if we break 13, you're looking at a lot of the same, but 1340 breaks the top.
Shoot, man, all these levels I'm writing down are to the top side, and I don't even know if this market's going to go today. So you got to watch out for some of these things here. I'm still enamored with Foot Locker. I'm writing down a whole bunch of other names here. But that was AAL. Look, I mean, I haven't looked at that too much. Let's just take a quick look at UAL, just because Neil just ran over American with you, which obviously makes a lot of sense. They're all the same, guys. 176,000 shares today, 34 and change. Nice little bottom from Friday. Blow this up a little bit. UAL, pretty choppy right now. These stocks, not really my cup of tea when they're going to be opening up flat, so I'm going to stay away from airlines. Maybe Boeing could be something, but that's going to be for later on.
Simon Property Group, SPG in New York, guys, talking to Amazon about possibly converting former JCPenney and Sears locations into Amazon fulfillment centers. So not a name we typically look at on an intraday kind of short time frame basis, but SPG very active this morning in the pre-market.
Yeah, look, this is another one of those names. I've been pounding the table on this one a little bit here with some of the traders around. I do like it, 7-8% dividend. Coming and getting a little bit creative. I don't know if they get back up to 66.50. Some of the JCPenney stores, they're talking about, you know, they lease them to them. So they're talking about those being empty now and making moves for Amazon's fulfillment stores and pickup locations and whatnot. So we're going to wait to see if that has any legs to it. But SPG is a big popular stock with all the Robin Hooders and the day traders out there. So very much so on the watch here. SPG tends to move. Look at the daily chart. It's stuck. This is why it sort of got me excited. I mean, this move was 160, 170. When you're holding the bag on a lot of these retail locations, this is what winds up happening. Of course, they're commercial real estate, but now you're getting above. We're getting really close, man. I've been going long on this one in my own account as well for longer term plays. We're getting very close. I hate trading your own book, so that's why it's going to be a little bit difficult here. But this little level right here, I mean, if I can zoom in here on a daily chart just a little bit, this is 66.50. So we bounced a couple times off there. We're at 65.75, sorry. So there's getting close to that, and we're getting close to that right now. So I like this level, 65.75 on a break. Maybe 66.70 is a little bit better because that's the high, but if you're going to get a little spicy with it, why not do 65.50, guys?
I think that 65 sort of in three-quarter area makes more sense to me on a breakout. You also think about it from a swing standpoint. You're looking at about 10% from support to get you all the way on a break, maybe this week, maybe next week, who knows, all the way up to like 72, 73 area. So I like this one. Also keep in mind here, this is good for Amazon. Amazon, of course, you know, if they can get more fulfillment centers, that was one thing that I feel like Target sort of had a bit of an advantage on. You know, is the ability to sort of ramp up, give that fulfillment, have those deliveries come in. And I know, obviously, as an Amazon Prime member myself, you're all about those quick deliveries, and they're just bashing it out of the park. There's another way for them to get in there and just improve even more their delivery times and their dominance in that space. But swing trade for SPG, I like it in front of 60. The breakout, I think, like Sean said, 65, 75. It's tough to peg.
So
or
many.
66 even.
Let's talk about rocket companies quickly here, guys. We're going to get Arun on. We'll talk about the overall market, but let's touch on Rocket here. 40% move in the first 2 days of trading down on the New York Stock Exchange. The Quicken Loan parent, Rocket companies here, back on the move here in the pre-market. However, we're kind of inside of the range from Friday, so the first day where we're not seeing that initial strength to the upside.
Man, I think that's the problem right now. I mean, VWAP's up here at 24.50, 24.50, yeah, on a 1 minute chart. Actually, sorry, I did have it down at 3 minute. I loved this level when we were trending up here, and now we're pulling back down. So I've got shortable shares now through the broker. And again, find us on daytradetheworld.com. You'll be able to see which platform we use and whatnot, and always able to get, not always, but most of the time able to get some shortable shares. So $25 right here. That's the top. I love that. I mean, I loved it on a break, just thinking that we could get excited again from when we broke it the first time, $25, we ran up to $25.30, fell back down before rocketing to 27. But yeah, now we're coming downside here. It doesn't look as pretty as I thought it would. 24.50 is going to be a play for me, but it'll be a small one. We'll see if we can't catch a little small win off 24.50, but it's not. Darn it, I just wish this was saying 25 up here rather than 24. But if you're looking to go short, you're at these key levels right here. Neil, I know you always go short something, so let's see what you think about Rocket Mortgage.
I kind of think if it gives any kind of a pop, maybe at that little 930 area, area that fails to get through that 25, I can maybe use that to get in. It's just sort of like a hard stop at 25 even kind of idea. Selling it, like you said, 24.50 would sound a lot better than like dumping it right here at 24. And then where am I giving it to? Am I giving it 50 cents? Am I giving it $1? I don't know that I like those risk returns, especially given how sideways the action could turn out to be down in this range. We'll see. I'd love it if it popped a little bit and gave me a better price on an entry point, but 25 would be the kill spot of any short that I took off the open.
Lots of little ones moving around this morning as well to talk about. Trevena Incorporated, there's an FDA approval. Top Ships, one reverse, 25 for one reverse stock split for Top Ships. Neil mentioned that. IBIO and Ceres Therapeutics as well, which is MCRB. A little bit of news on that one as well. Also, FedEx, guys, got a Bernstein upgrade. Noted that that was very active in the pre-market as well. Let's bring in Arun and we'll talk about the futures here and see how things are looking for a Monday. Not as sleepy as once, Arun, but we're still kind of stuck in this range a little bit.
Yeah, we're just breaching 50 now. I honestly don't know what to make of it. It's gone pretty quiet. Both markets, NASDAQ and ES, are pretty muted right now, just hovering just over the 10th of a percent mark. So the only level I've got is 33.10 on the back end. If we get underneath 33.35, I'll start to look for longs. If we go higher, if we continue to go higher or creep higher, I don't know what to do with it. So I'll just let the market figure itself out and maybe pick up a trade as it pushes. But for the time being, I'm going to look for a drawback towards 33.35 before I start looking for some longs. Not a whole lot. It is August, right? It's summertime trading, and this is actually one of the first few August that I'm actually trading because I'm usually on vacation around this time. So this is kind of new to me as well. So we'll see how this one plays out, Brendan.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. Let's jump into one more little one here, guys. IBIO back to the upside again today. Big time, 20%. It's already come off quite a bit as well, but $5, pretty obvious level. If you go to the daily chart on IBIO, they just updated their work on a possible COVID-19 vaccine. So we're kind of consolidating. 450 up to about 480 right now. $5 is the bigger level, though, that we're watching on IBIO, guys.
IBIO, yeah, I know. I think, yeah, some of us are in that name. I'm not in that name, though. I did want to look at Kodak quickly, guys. 950, 970. I'm not short it. I think the short's the better play, but I just want to give everyone an update here. 970 is that high. So if you are short it, do not. I mean, my advice is just, I mean, again, do whatever you want, but through 970, I don't like the idea of holding that just in case it gets going again through there. I'm sure Neil and Brendan, we all probably have that same idea through that high. The next thing here is Nikola Motors. We loved it at 40. That's when we tweeted it out. If you guys can follow us here on Twitter, I tweeted that out about 9 o'clock. This Nikola news. I'll give my Twitter handle there. Twitter Trader TV. Sean right there. Looking at this high right now, 42 and change. Neil and I both pegged 42.50 as a high. If you got that 33 minutes ago, you're down here at 39 and loving life right now to the upside. What up to our newest friend here? Capture Nola. Don't capture anybody, but capture Nola right now. Welcome to Trader TV Live. Thank you for the support on that one, guys.
Yeah, we just got a super chat. Thank you, Deborah Maldonado there. Asking if we think Apple will hit 500 soon. Define soon. I mean, the answer I would say is yes.
Yes.
But I don't know if if as soon as this week. The way it's been moving, I couldn't actually write that one off. I tend to be conservative, so I would say maybe not this week. Certainly sometime this month would seem pretty probable at this point. But look, anything can absolutely happen. It's again up after catching a couple of upgrades today. It did just now literally roll back to about 450. The level I was going to watch if it were to pull back would be 448.50 if it does come back in. Sometimes you can catch a quick little buy opportunity on a little bit of a dump on the open. These futures are pretty sideways, flat on the session. I don't know if this is going to be the heavy stock we're going to trade today, but just sort of doubling down on what Sean was saying about that level on Kodak. I think it's important to note, of course, my chart does not change when I go to Kodak. There you go. Like that 975 area, wherever I short this one, if it's a pop off the open, certainly I would have that 975 as my out. If I were to take a downward break at like an 850, that would be a stop probably closer to the $9 area, or even just a tight stop at break even if I do make that trade. Shorts were quite cheap, I noticed today on Kodak, so only a couple of cents a share there. I really do like that opportunity there. And for those of you, I did talk about TRVN. I'm more or less done with this stock. I did have a short. I tweeted it out this morning. I had this one at about 8.15 this morning. It already made a ramp to the downside. It's testing it off of the open. I have maybe like 10% left here that I was going to have a break-even stop on at 365. It breaks it fine. I want 380 as the next level to the upside. If it tests that price at the open, I try that rollover at 380. If it breaks through, it could be a nice little breakout long opportunity for you guys.
Okay, and we did it again here because we're in a position that maybe we shouldn't be in, but we're going to see it here. Okay, SPG, we're long now again. I mean, it's right here. It's just bouncing around. 65.20, so we get into some SPG there. With only 20 seconds to go, though, Twitter's SPG, Apple looking for that, looking for Kodak, looking for Rocket, looking for Twitter, and looking for Foot Locker. So it's going to be a big day here, guys.
And yeah, with dropping that count on Valeria is right there. CGC as well. We Batman in the house. I can't forget about that. 3, 2, 1. Sean, CGC right at the top, pre-market high right now.
Yeah, okay, we like CGC. What did I write down for CGC? 1865, not there yet, Neil.
You know, not just yet, but coming back in just a little tiny bit. I want to get to
Simon Property Group.
Yeah, sorry, MCRB's on the move as well, guys. You got to get to that one. It's through $20, through $21 now. So another break to the upside of MCRB up. Yeah, a redonkulous amount. Forget about that. 350%.
Okay, so Simon Property Group went to the upside there and then stopped. So we did get a little bit out. I don't even know. We are open now, so we get some out there. 65.56 off of 65.20 long. Let's see if this one wants to rock, but we're getting close to being stopped out of this one. So we did take some out there. Good on us, holding back some, but now we'll wait to see. There it goes again. I mean, these are just bouncing around like crazy. This is a 1 minute chart, and we already have like a $3 range here. So watch out below here if you're trading Simon Property Group. Could bust through. Foot Locker as well, downside. So that move, NEPA, did not happen. We thought Foot Locker 31.50 that we were being pretty cute there with that move, but that does not happen. Foot Locker to the downside, guys.
Oh, they got me. That little 10% that I had in TRVN stops me out off the open. No test of that level that I liked at 380, so break even stop on that last little bit, and then comes right back. And I thought if we took this out, there'd be an opportunity to get some at 75, maybe even 80s. No moss. Now if it breaks 335, that's going to be another breakdown point. I'll short pullbacks into like 350, 355 on TRVN. Obviously, I traded it for some success this morning. AAL, STFU. AAL, talking about that in the stock. We did mention it in the pre-market, but we didn't get the top ships too heavily there. 25-for-1 reverse stock split, and then this tank right here all the way to $1. So $2.25 would be the relative price. Already starting to come back in. $1 I think is going to be a defend price we can buy.
Okay, here we go. Weed Batman in the building. We talked about that 1840. Let's see how high this one wants to go. CGC right now rocking northbound. We're long at 61. Not a good trade yet, but I'm just talking about rocking upside. So let's give this one some breathing room. Down here maybe to 1810. That's as low as we got there. So let's see if CGC can hold some of these tops up to 1810. Unfortunately, there it is. We'll put in the gates of hell, SPG there. And what a surprise. We get out of some, and look how low it is, right back down to that very bottom. Thank God we didn't get the very bottom there, but SPG now bouncing around. So that's going to be a loser for us on board. We still have small percentage, 20% of our trade. Get out of about 10% up there, get out of 70% down there, and now we'll hold 20, see if there's some more upside. But CGC, the one that we're looking at right here, trying to take out 1810 on the downside, maybe 1825 if we have to get out.
Here comes that Kodak making a run at that 976. So the first short, I didn't take it, obviously. I don't love this trade necessarily at 930 of those stocks, but that 976 first test coming in. If it does roll over, I'll take one shot shorting in front. Brendan, what do you got, bud?
MOXC, another one here, guys. Anyone watching this? MOXC, 56% still coming back through $2. This is actually merger news. They're teaming up with BTAB Group. Looks like a share deal. So all share deal for MOXC, guys. Up big time on that news today.
All right, we did.
That's on NASDAQ, right?
Yep.
We did take Foot Locker, trying to break through $30 there. I thought maybe it would take some VWAP loving up there, but it doesn't look like it wants to. So we're still stuck short long right now. Foot Locker, we're going to give it a round to here to see if it wants to break. Our CGC, we made a keystroke error to get out, but we got right back in on that exact price. So CGC right now, keystroke error out, back in. So when you're going to see a different price, we've already taken the hit on it, but this is really the trade that we have on right now. 1860 long. It's going to show a different price. We did get in and out there by accident. accident put in the wrong stop order. So then we get right back in. So that's why it's showing us that. So if it rips up, we still need it to go much more than where it is now. We're long at 41, but realistically, we still got this one at 60.
We're trying to slay that Kodak dragon once again. Now, we talked about both Sean and I mentioned that 975 price. It's got to be a kills point, but you know, if I'm going to be shorting a name, if it rolls over in front of that pre-market high like it just did, I jump in for some shares here at 964, just got some out at 51, just got some out at 41. Now we're in the money about 40 pennies. So look, this is a nice little scalp for me. Not necessarily a home run trade. I find when I trade Kodak, I get into trouble when I try to hold on too long. But if you get a nice level like that, you're risking 10 cents plus some slippage through the upside there to make what, like 30, 40 here. Hold this last little bit for about 9 even. If I can catch a 50 to 60 cent win on the last quarter, this will be very, very pleased with that. Stop is going to remain at 976. I'm not going to bring it down just because we happen to win on this one. It either takes off that pre-market high or I get my target, one or the other.
It looks like they want to sell some of these tech names here, including Mr. Softy, going to the downside right now for this. So Foot Locker, we average back in. We're trying to make a win on this one. We get in again at 29.40, a little bit more shares, only 20% more down here. So now we're going to see if Foot Locker wants to make its move back up to this 31.50 level or so. CGC gets wiped out, but we're not done with that one. We're going to put on a big position hopefully soon on CGC. Just needs to go. Brendan.
Another volume alert here, guys, on Nikola. Still going. We just broke 43.50 there on a huge volume spike for Nikola, guys.
Unbelievable, but I can do this one for you. We came out of Brennan. Yeehaw! Bottom, almost bottom wick. I talked about getting out in front of 9 even, just able to get 9.11. So 53 penny win in the last little quarter. Kodak, we're back to shorting. We're back to winning. 976, that pre-market high is going to still be in there for me. But I might take a scalp long if it breaks through, just kind of in and out on the momentum there. I feel like a lot of shorts are going to try it the second time through.
I mean, look at, SPG finally going a little bit here now. Sorry, Nikola finally going as well. There goes Twitter, guys, 38.55 to the top side. Let's take out some right here. If we can, we'll get some out in the 60s. But like I said, this was always meant to be just a quick little scalp here. So that's exactly what we're doing as we try to take some out to the top side here on, there it is, Twitter. Bang, finally. Thank God. Going to the upside now, Twitter. Nice move. Keep going, buddy. 38.55. We talked about getting this out in the mid-70s. So that's exactly what we're doing right now. Twitter for the win right now. Bang! Thank God.
Yeah, and another play on our good friend TVRN here. Another push to the downside. I tried to get some 350s. We did pick some up here. We'll just get quickly out of that trade as we get a little bit of a reversal here. Again, this 330 bottom, it's now a double bottom. So we short up here at 350. We get some out break even. We get some out at the low. If it breaks 330, I think I'm going to go short one more time through. Otherwise, I'm going to wait patiently for a retest at 360 on TRVN. I do want to jump quickly back to top ships because it looks like it might roll over. I'm going to have to defend $1. This was a relative price of, it was 9 cents. The relative price on that reverse split, $2.25. So for it to get chopped in half is just extreme. And you talk about selling on reverse splits. I mean, come on. At some point, look, even I will try to buy this one. I'm looking at 130, trying to roll over right now. If it does, maybe a quick little scalp short. But man, $1. Look at that bottom here in the pre-market. I'll take a shot if it gets down there.
Yeah, and here comes falling down again is Foot Locker. We just got out, so that's a bad trade there. Falling down to the very bottom. We're going to go long again if it takes 29.50, but we had to squeeze out of that one. We did exactly what we said we would do here on Twitter, man. It rips to the upside. We told you we'd like that trade through 38.50. We take it. It's our one winner right now, but it's a good one. CGC, we get more long here, breaking through 18.50. This is the biggest position I've had in the stock right now. CGC breaking back to the upside. What's up, Brendan?
Big move for MGM this morning, guys. IAC investing a whole bunch of money, looks like approximately $1 billion in MGM Resorts. IAC, if you remember, they used to be tied up with Match Group, but they've since separated from Match Group. So IAC with a whole bunch of cash on hand, dumping it into MGM. Huge move here, 20% for MGM so far, guys.
Wow, great move for them. I just want to quickly go back to Rocket. We did mention this one in the pre-market here. It did pull back rather heavily to the downside at at 23 even. Now it's sort of trying to test. Look at this opening range here, 24.33. There was that 24.50 area that Sean was looking at. 25 would be a breakout. I'm going to try a quick rollover trade here if I can in front of that 24.50. A quick little short idea. It's very similar to what we were trying to do over in our good friend Kodak there. So we can catch something in the 24.25 range short in front of 50, risk about 25 cents in slippage, see if it can't retest that 23.50 area to the downside.
And there's the banger. Twitter goes above now. We were actually not expecting this. I guess this is worth a little more than people thought now today. Our friends at TikTok there. Nice little rip there for Twitter. So bang, we had that idea going through that top. Good trade there. Let's just keep on holding this one if we can. CGC, not making the same mistake we did. So in 1852, out 59s, out some 69s up there as well. So that's a good out. Was that 69? Yeah, that was 69. Wow, okay. Nice little ripper there. That's why some of these marijuana spaces tend to be tricky to trade. They like to move around like crazy there. So, and it's not even that it's low float. It's just, it goes nuts. So we get some 69s out there. Should have taken more, but we did not. We're not able to get that. Foot Locker, we've given up on that. We're holding very small. I'm going to wait, guys, until 30.55, which is this level right here. It needs to break above 30.50, and then we'll get more Foot Locker. But that one has been a pants down trade for us today. Foot Locker, my biggest loser on board for sure here today. And CGC, man, we're still going to give this one a little bit of love. We'll put another order in the 60s, see if we get it out. But after that, man, we're trying to fly high with this one. And pardon the pun. What up, B?
Nike, guys. Speaking of Foot Locker, Nike going here as well. 3.5% to the upside. Just broke 105.50 there on a bit of a volume spike. I don't know about you guys. We were watching the golf on the weekend, but it seemed like every other golfer that was playing in that tournament was sponsored by Nike. So lots of popularity apparently for Nike, guys.
Yeah, Nike coming back. I mean, it seems like such an obvious sympathy play, something we've talked about before there. I want to get to nickel in a second, but Kodak rolled over one more time in front of that pre-market high. So I'm going to continue to like this level. I like it more and more with each test. It's going to be that 975 breakthrough. If it does sort of fail in the 950 range, I'll take one more shot shorting it. Always make sure you got locates, and I did not just now in RKT. Thought I did. We'll try and get those shorts now. Brennan, what do you got there, buddy?
Cruise lines are going here a little bit, guys. RCL reported this morning bigger than expected loss. Looks like CCL higher, though, if I can flip over. Yeah, here we go. CCL actually a nice look here to the upside, moving higher, tagged 1480 at the top there, guys.
Wow, I love CCL. We're going to have to look at that one for sure again. I like Rocket Mortgage. Thanks for bringing that up, though, Neil, but we do looking for shorts. 24.40 there on a blowout through the top here could be a play on that one. I do love CCL, though. That's one of my favorite stocks, and we're going to look at that exactly right now. 14.50 up that 2%. Wow, they get it. Wow, no wonder Brendan there. Yeah, 14.80 for CCL. Big move up and then even a bigger move down, it looks like right now. So coming to the downside here. I don't like anything on this chart. And again, if you're watching us for the first time here, A, I talk fast, and B, we have lots of different screens here. 1 minute, 3 minutes, 12 minutes, dailies, futures, hot lists and whatnot. So Neil and I are not trading blind here. We're just showing you on our screens. This is a 1 minute chart. We feel like that represents the best, and just with VWAP on here, so you guys can definitely focus on a little bit less than what we're looking at here. So 1460, let's go long 1460 here, right here on CCL, guys.
Yeah, I just want to quickly check back on the Nikola, which turned around at $45 on a bit of a pullback trade. I mean, as much as you want to call it a pullback, this stock, of course, up 20% now. So dollar might be significant, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a rocket ship that gave you $8 off that news this morning. I'm looking for 45 to be sort of a kill zone. If we can get an opportunity to maybe fade in front of it, we'll take that shot. Kodak is very, very close to retesting once again that top level, guys. So I'm going to see if we can't get some shares. Not as much the first time. I don't like it, those shorts the second time through, but I am going to take it the third time on Kodak. It's still going to be a reverse to the long at 975, but I will take at least one shot here shorting in front of it and then reversing the long, guys. Brennan, what do you got?
Fastly, guys, big move here, 7.3%. If you remember, end of last week, this thing got crushed. We went from 115 all the way back to 80. Really big level on the daily chart for Fastly, 80. So we're kind of bouncing off that area this morning, back to 85 here on decent volume, guys.
Okay, we got Rocket to the north side as well, 24.40 as we talked about it. Taking some out there at 49 for a 9 cent win. It's not huge. We're going to wait to see if we get more on that one. Has to break above, obviously, and then we'll look at 24.80, 24.70. Maybe there. I have lots of things on right now, guys, and they're all long, which I don't know. Okay, CCL takes out 60s, so we go long 60s. We're only going to give this one just slightly to VWAP, so back to the downside here. These futures fall down. We are in hella trouble. We're long CCL. We're long CGC here. These These are all alphabetical right now. We're long Foot Locker. We're long Kodak. Kodak breaking the top here, guys. Just like we said, let's get some out here. Bang! Nice trade on Kodak. Let's go to the upside right now. Didn't even notice this, was reviewing some trades. Look at this nice win, a quick 30, 40 cents. Let's get going higher, 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 Kodak. Let's go, baby. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm already in and out. We reversed on Kodak. For me, that 975 was always going to be a break, but nothing that I wanted to hold. I don't like holding longs in Kodak, so we short in front, we reversed to long. I'm out. The second it broke 10, I'm just taking the 30 cents and running away from it. Maybe there's going to be another long opportunity, but I'd like to see it build up and have some shorts get confident again, and then take that level to the upside. I did reload in TRVN. I missed the initial break at 330, got some at 325 to the south side. I do want to get to IBIO. Brendan mentioning this one. And coming back in, so missing this little breakdown at 440. Watch for this 4 even area, a bit of a bottom in the pre-market. Worth noting, if it can defend down here, I think I'd pick up at least one shot at a long. So if you can't get a scalp back up, maybe 20 cents or so.
We're going to give this one to about 920 or so, the rest of the Kodak. We just took some out for flat there. Big win, but coming back down now, so I'll wait to see on that one. Rocket Mortgage does go upside. I mean, this is the thing. When we're long everything, it can tend to get pretty spicy. So right now we're long Rocket Mortgage, we're long Twitter, we're long SPG, we're long Kodak here. Hopefully that can get going back in the money 10 cents. And we're also long CGC. That's the one. Actually, they're all fine right here. What's up, Brandon?
2 days in a row here for FedEx, guys. We looked at this one on Friday. This is 52-week high territory for FDX. It was Bernstein that was with the upgrade today on FedEx, guys.
All right,
yeah, just having a quick look at a CNDT here. Once again, sort of to the upside. Now, obviously, it had a rocket ship late last week. Continuing the move right now, up 5%. Worth noting, if you can get through like a 455 area top here, I think maybe it'll be good for a break. I'm likely, given that it's like 2 or 3 days now into the move, I'll try a rollover in front of that price first. I think we can get back below that $4 range. As long as we hold 450, 455, I think we have a good shot at winning on the short side trade here. Like I said, TRVN we did get back into, but not the best price in the world. Kodak continuing its run.
Yeah.
I'm only looking for one thing only, and that's a place to roll over into a short.
Yeah, Superman, guys. Kodak right now with a big win. Long 970, just took some out there, 1029. So nice little 50+ cent win there for Kodak. So let's see how much more this thing wants to go upside. It may not go more, but we don't have any levels to look at. So we're going to wait to see if it blows past 1050 right now for, once again, another monster win on board right there. CGC, like I said, falls right back down. We talked about that one being probably the only one that was a problem. But we were able to get some out. But CGC right now, caught with our pants down. Oops, that's the wrong one. There's our pants down. Go Kodak, go. Let's go, Brandon.
Ceres Therapeutics, guys. MCRB still going here. This was FDA approval for a C. difficile treatment that they're working on. But coming back up here to $20 for this MCRB. Volume on this thing is just absolutely off the charts today. 300%, guys.
Okay, Apple breaking.
25 million shares already. Watch out for 2080 to 21 even on a potential break to the upside on MCRB, but it looks like it might be trying to come back in. It just put in a lower high a few seconds ago. If that's the case, I think a run back through this level for me, 18 is definitely going to be a short, but certainly if you take it through 20, as it's going right here, I would have 21 as your stop.
453.89 or so, 453.80 here on, what is this stock? Apple. We take a 455 break. That's what we looked at in the pre-market. Rips up there on a big move on the futures, but now you can see coming back down. So we're going to use 453 in change as an out for Apple. This one getting too spicy right here to the upside goes Apple right now. So it's coming downside
Kodak
right here, but was upside. There it is. So we flushed out of some Apple. Let's look to reload here on a big futures move down. Apple coming downside right now. We did take that top off. We were able to get some out for profit, but not much. Here comes Apple back to the upside. Hopefully we'll get long if that does happen. I like the movement on this stock.
Volatility halt, guys, in Kodak to the upside. So did that break at 975? That was the level we were sort of talking about. Just quickly show what that looks like for us. You can see I got a scalp trade to the long side, but now halting at 1090. So 952, it's likely to open back in here. You can certainly see no trading happening. It looks like it's trying to make another one of those squeezes to the upside. I will note here it was very, very cheap to short this. It's as cheap as it's been since the news came out. So giving some win to some of the short side trades, but it should open back in. If it goes higher than 11, that can be a break. If it opens a little bit lower than that price, I'd look to be sort of shorting it in front of that halt price of 1090.
And look what we did for Kodak, guys. Big time win right now. Halted up here now at 1090. Look, when I've been stuck in halts, it doesn't necessarily work out all the time, but we're going to wait in one right now. Kodak right here halted. We're $1.20 in the money right now with Kodak. So a nice little trade there. Unfortunately, our Apple does get flushed out there. We try to take the top, get burned, it comes all the way back down. So we will look to get back into Apple at some point. But right now, the big time win is with Kodak. We also have CCL now as well. Just took some out there, 67s. We're going to see if this one wants to take off the top as well. Up here at 78, 79. We're parked at 74, Brendan.
Another one moving here, guys. Don't see headlines on this, but Dave & Buster's play here up 7% today on decent volume as well. Got above this 1375 level from the daily chart over here in the pre-market. So we were holding above that 1380 to 1390, straight to 1470 here for play, guys.
Wow, that's a name, not a blast from the past, but one that we used to trade a little bit heavily, more heavily, I should at least say there. I did want to quickly jump over to Top Ships one more time here. If it goes to that 180 level, now we talked about the price being 225, relatively speaking, I'm likely to try a short. I did want to see if it breaks through that 130 area. Maybe we could be defending some kind of a long. But if we get anywhere close to a $1.80, I'm likely to take a short, call it like the 170 range with a reversal type of idea at 180. So 170 to 175, risk 5 to 10 pennies. See if it can't retrace back into VWAP at that point. It should be a wild one. It's only done 8.5 million shares, which is not quite as much as I would have expected. Ignore that percentage. Reverse split 25 times there. So it's completely irrelevant. Our chart's showing that it went from 9 cents to 20. It didn't actually, or $2. Didn't actually do that, guys.
452. I mean, we'll try to defend a little bit down here on. Oh, there goes Apple. I was going to say we'll try to defend a little bit down here. What's up, Brandon?
Clean Spark, guys. Just checking on CLSK. It was earnings at the end of last week, but this is the second halt here now. Just reopened, actually. Second halt, though, for CLSK. Still up 18.5%. They reported the end of last week. Blowout earnings, but no news today on this one, guys.
Keep getting blown out. CCL coming up to the upside right now, looking for this thing to run a little bit. We do have Apple long again at 452.28, and I just keep saying under my breath, this thing doesn't want to go for me, so we may have to get out of this one, but nice little win here. Apple making that move back to the upside. See if it can cash me out a little bit here in the 70s. We just took some out in the 60s. We'll see if we get some out. Now upside 70 and change on Apple. Look at the futures. The futures taking out that top, and so is trying to right now. Okay, Carnival, I see you. We're long 61s right now on Carnival. Let's see if we can get some of these out as well. We need this and Apple to come out in order for this to be a good win. But Apple, there it goes. Like, look at Apple, guys. Goes all the way up. We get out a little bit, and then it crashes to the downside. So Apple loser. CCL, the big win, though, guys.
Yeah, and right back to the opening bottom is Nikola here. 4060 was 4065, 4067 area was that bottom. Look, anytime you get a chance to bounce off like that, I'm going to see if we can't jump into a quick little scalp trade. Again, you can give it all the way to that 4067. At 930, we had a bit of a bottom there, or you can have a stop at 41. Either way, I kind of like that secondary level. See if we can push back into VWAP. It is positive news. You have seen the stock get bought up in the past on something like this. So if I can catch it down here, I got some at 41.19. Try to run it back into 42 for a quick little scalp trade, guys. Off that low, we talked about buying dips. First, we like 40 even. Then we like opening range dip buys. And of course, that was the secondary break at the same price.
Okay, so guess what we did again? We went long Apple again. So we'll wait to see here if this one wants to go again. It goes monstrous nicely for us in the money. We go long at 52. It goes all the way to 40. And now it drops back down again. So, yeah, Apple just keeps getting hit, guys. Every single move upside makes the move back down. So we should have put all of our apples into this stock right here, as there goes CCL. Beautiful trading on CCL. Long 1460. Look, I keep losing all the time on Apple. I don't know why we keep going back to the well there. But now CCL, one of my favorite stocks, makes the moves to the upside. So shout out to Brendan. Bringing these cruise lines to my attention. We making lots on Apple, losing lots on Apple, but making just as much here on CCL. Bang with the winner on CCL. Shout out to Daryl and everybody maybe possibly along this name with us here. CCL, big move, Brendan.
Yeah, I'm looking at MCRB here. I don't know if we have Brendan there in a quick second if he has some news, but I'm still looking at MCRB to try to roll over through 18. Has not happened yet. I do have a stop locked and loaded, ready to go, but also through a 21 even break. Only 30 cents in the money now on that Nikola trade, 35 or so. Looking for about 50 to 80 on that little bounce. Otherwise, maybe we'll add to that position. But watch out for MCRB. It is starting to consolidate and slowly ramp a little bit higher. 21 even or 2080. Either one of those two is a break to the long side, or we get that 18 move, which looks like it might be coming in a little bit soon. Only $1 away from that, guys. But I do want to quickly jump back over to Nikola. If you sort of missed out, there was this push here off of higher low, I want to call it, here in front of that 40.67 right at the open we had. I tried to take some out in front of 42, ran away from my order for the time being. I'll look to only take to 60 cents. I think we have an opportunity on a secondary push to like 42.50 anyways, so why not go ahead and do that? And just doesn't seem like it wants to go any further in this consolidation. I'm just going to take it off here. We'll grab the 50-cent winner, look for the next trade. That might be a short through this 40.70 on the bottom. Otherwise, it could be a 42.50 area break to the upside. Nikola up only 14% now. Remember, hard push to 45 before coming back in. Deep retracement here. Watch for that 40.50 area.
Yeah, Kodak back open right now. We just take some out there. Like I told you, every time I get into a halt, it always opens lower. So we'll wait to see here. We did take some out. We're going to hold the rest now. Kodak still long 9.75. Just took some out on that refresh back to 10.37. So that's still a dollar win. Well, that's an 80-cent win. Now it's in the money $1, so we'll wait to see what Kodak wants to do. CCL, we took some out in the 70s, and Apple, we're just holding this to see how far this thing wants to go. But right now, Apple to the downside, and that's been our biggest loser. That's an evil laugh right there for Apple. That's got our money today. Did I hear we're ready for Brendan? No, not yet. Okay, so we're going to keep going here. Foot Locker 29 and change. Look, this could be a breakout here on Foot Locker. You saw what Nike's doing, so let's see if Foot Locker can do something very, very similar here. It still needs to go back up here to past $30. What's up, Brandon?
Yeah, another little one, guys, with earnings here. MITT from the financial space, 14%. Just took a 310 there on a volume spike. So a nice move for MITT Insurer, guys.
Wow. Yeah, just noting here, Penn down 5% and continuing to fall. I mean, what a shakeout this would have been. I mean, I wasn't looking at the stock off the open, but failed break through the pre-market top at 50. Really not that failed. You got $1 if you took profits. That's the reason why on some of those trades off the open, you got to take your profits. Hard reversal. We're now down below $47 here on Penn. Look, it's been a rocket ship ever since breaking out that 38. So pullback might have been in cards the whole way. I'm going to look to see if we can't make a bottom in this name at some point. We tried that one last week to some success. I'll try it again here. But I did get that reload I mentioned in the TRVN. The other name, of course, is CNDT that I am sitting in a short of. We just picked this one up on a bit of a rollover. It held 450 the first time. 456 is where my stop is at high of the day. I'm likely to add to my position, I think, as long as we hold 450. I can even go with two stops if I like it here. If it breaks at 430, another place we can consider adding. I got 36 short. I'm looking to see if we can't test back out into 4 even with a stop at the high of day here, guys. So CNDT to the short side after a couple of days running up parabolic. I'm going to test that retracement here.
Yeah, and I just getting mad here at Apple because maybe we'll give it one more shot here. We tried one more time to go long on it, and we started taking out some profits there off of this 450.50 long. It got up to in the 80s, so we did take some out, but yuck, still not falling for us here. Or for not going up, it's only falling. Okay, CCL, we have taken out the majority of this trade. I still like it to the upside, but I have too many shares here. CCL upside there. We are looking for this. Here goes Kodak, maybe falling back down to this 975 area. We'll look to get some out at that point. I mean, it was halted there, and we don't need to let this one turn into be a loser. So maybe 980 on the downside here for Kodak to get rid of the rest. But that's 980 for Kodak. But we're long at 975, so it's going to be a winner no matter what, and it's a big one. We took out the shares. We talked about that. Picking out this top, we take it, we crush it. Now let's not get crushed on the rest. But we only have 30% left of this trade, so let's see if this one can't make us some money to the upside.
Yeah, quickly, and normally I wouldn't scalp something like a MCRB for only about 20 cents here. I actually ended up with about 30 pennies, but I did notice we got that break at that 2080 area. I broke to the long side. I got 93s long here. The second I made the break, 94, check that, and then immediately looked like it was going to halt on me. So I just took some profit there for the bulk of the position. I'll just take it in and out. I don't want it to halt here and then maybe open up to the downside and I get stuck. So I lock in some profit. I am still holding a little bit of this position to the long side in the event that we can break higher. It does have a high right now of 2189, so I would look at that as the first target. If it cannot break through there on a reopen, I'm likely to immediately dump those shares for whatever I can get. If it does open lower, I'll probably just take it out immediately. So we're looking at a 10:01, about 4 minutes or so. We'll open back up here on MRCB. A couple of shorts on, of course. I talked about CNDT and TRVN, but MCRB now breaking to the upside. I'm in the halt.
Man, we should have just reversed all of our trades all the time on Apple there. We just keep going, every single one of these outs seems to be like a good spot before it breaks back to the downside. So we're flashed out of Apple right now, and it can put that stock into the gates of hell. It's going to be our negative stock of the day here today, as well as SPG. We've been holding on to this one to see if it's going to break through 64. Hasn't done that yet, but still not looking great here for Simon Property Group. We thought that they had some nice little news there. They did. We take it for a nice little win, get flushed out the rest. Now we're holding for a 64 break, and it looks like that'll probably come sooner rather than later here for Simon Property Group. Not a great little look here. I do like 64.75. I mean, if we can get back to VWAP, I do like it. It's a stock that's up on the day with some positive news around it, so let's see how high that one can go. Looking back at Kodak here, still bouncing. This is where we got out. We're still in it. I'm going to hold for higher and higher and higher. Let's see if we get one of those crazy moves today. Otherwise, man, we've already cashed out 975 here on the downside for Kodak, so we'll wait to see if that's going to hold up to be true on the downside. So that's going to be my out on that name, and everything else pretty much going. We did get out of our Twitter. Big win on Twitter. We're holding that one for 38 break. Looks like that might happen there. We'll get out of Twitter, but that's already a nice little win for us in the bank. I wish I would have saw that Fastly, though. Damn it.
Yeah, I mean, Fastly, that's a stock that we've sort of been talking. We talk about all the time. I don't know that we always get to it on a trade. Certainly may have missed opportunities. CNDT, I'm going to maintain the same sort of idea here, except I'm going to have a tight stop on the second half of this. I'm going to go 2 logs here. 447, that little top that we just made. Thank you for the reload, Valeria, on the coffee. That'll be the first level. 455, now that pre-market high, 456, check that. That'll be where I get out altogether of a short and reverse to the long side break. So that's the level I've had all morning long for CNDT. I'll be short in front of it. Otherwise, it's a long only through that price. MCRB still holding for a couple more minutes at least until we get that little halt. TRVN starts to come back in for me. But I did want to make sure we kind of check back in. I know it's usually a sleepy stock, that top ships, but not today, of course, with the reverse split. It's trying to roll over shy of my target, right at a buck 50. I'm now going to think about at least a breakdown trade at 150 and maybe try to scalp that into that 130. If I can get 10 cents, I'll be happy with it. But it's already 10 o'clock. That means time for Happening Now with Brennan.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock, already 30 minutes gone. Let's have a look at North American markets here. You can see the NASDAQ offsetting gains across the board when it comes to U.S. markets. But overall, S&P in positive territory there. You can see the Dow leading the way, 0.8% for the Dow to the upside. But tech stocks, Sean mentioned, look like they were selling tech stocks indeed. You can see the NASDAQ in negative territory. The Russell, 0.8% as well for small caps. Here in Toronto, the TSX, 0.3%. Same story down in Brazil this morning, about 0.3% for the BOVESPA to the upside. Can have a look at CGC in the U.S. here in Toronto. Canopy is weed, 8.4%, coming back into 24 here right now. Trying to hold 24 as support, but we got as high as 25 on the gap to the upside following a smaller than expected loss for Canopy. The other one, Afria, moving around this morning, doing more volume than normal. Back to the downside, though, we're coming back through 610 here. Watch $6 even was a little bit of a pivot on Friday for APHA. ABX, Barrick Gold, also reported earnings this morning, better than expected earnings for the gold producer, $39 up to $39.80 on decent volume as well for ABX. Guys, back over to you.
Barrick Gold.
Thank you very much, Brennan. And I'm going to steal this one from one of our members there. McRib, I'm not going to say MCRB again. Why do I have to? Forget about it. Just opening back up, and I did say if it tries to open higher, we'll run it into the high of day and then sort of walk away with profits. It opens up. That's exactly what I'll do. Look, it is what it is. I know some of you guys are going to look for that parabolic move. For me, we get these halts to the upside. It's already up 370%. I will take my dollar on the last little bit there. So it's a quick scalp at 30 cents, then $1 for the rest of it. I just find the easy money is the best way for my style of trading on these. I like the shorts even better. At some point, I am going to take a shot shorting in this name, guys. But first would likely have to break that 18 on the way back in. I do want to get back to TRVN. I need a cool nickname for that one, so I don't have to say that over and over again. I did reload in the 40s and the 45 range in front of a 350 area. We just got some out in front of 325. 320 would be the next break. If we get a break at that price, I'm likely to be mostly out and then maybe adding to our position again. So just sort of staying on the short train in TRV, and it was my best stock in the pre-market. But if you're watching McRib, right at $21 now. $22.40 was the high. I got out there at $21.77, so not quite the high, but still not a bad out. It's back to $1 pulling back in now, guys.
I don't even know what you're talking about, McRib.
MCR, it's not called McRib. It's just.
Yeah,
I don't want to be saying
I get it.
MCRB all day long.
I mean, if you have a stock and your company is McRib, I don't know if that's going to be a good name or not. Okay, maybe some infringements there. 1850. Okay, we're just looking at CCL here. We're going to tweet this one out. This has been just kind of the best trade for me today, just because we did break out through this level. We did see a big move, breakout now back to the upside. There's another out right there at 85. So we'll look to take this one. We're giving this one more shot here, Apple. It's been a bad one, 450 and change on this break. We'll wait to see if it takes out 449, and then we'll probably stop finally. If it does take that out, then we'll lose enough money on that one and move on from it. So that's going to be a wild name. I mean, you can see the market coming to the downside. There it goes. We did indicate early that NASDAQ was weak. We talked about that earlier on in the day, so no surprise there. I just thought Apple could carry the day there on an upgrade, but no, it cannot on some price upgrades there. Kodak, again, not doing anything. I just think we could get another push to the upside if people get squeezed out again. So let's wait for Kodak to make that move back up before we do anything with that. CCL, we just talked about it. We're pretty light on that right now. Other than that, man, Rocket keeps moving around and not doing a hell of a lot. We got out the majority of our shares. Now we're just holding it to see if it takes out the bottom. But I do like Rocket Mortgage. And I think we should probably get into some more shares here on Rocket. But 24.34 would be the breaking spot on this one. That's this little wick higher there where we last got out. So we need to get above there before we do any damage on Rocket. But right now, doesn't look like it wants to do much. So we'll play this as a bottom here, 23.80. Let's get out if that happens. But we're going to take some more long, 24.35 on Rocket if it goes, guys.
Yeah, and apparently should have held on to, look, the company is Ceres Therapeutics, and the symbol is MCRB. So, like, there's no way I'm going to keep that in my head. Very odd ticker there. So we're going to go with McRib, and it's up through $24 now. Continuing the parabolic moves up 400%. Yes, that is, you're reading that correctly. It is up 400%. I'm looking for the next halt to the upside to maybe give me a reopen lower and a short opportunity if it consolidates below one of those prices. Couldn't quite do that. You see within a couple of minutes already busting through and pushing new highs. That's not enough for me. If you get a few minutes in of consolidation lower than one of those halt tops, it just halted again at 24. That would get me into a short trade. Brennan, what do you have for me?
Tight little range here for the market, guys, but move back down in the futures here. But Veristem, another one that reported this morning, recent mover, VSTM up 6.8%, looking like might want to throw in the towel here as well. 160 a problem here for VSTM, doing decent volume today as well, guys.
All right, we just took another position here finally. Hopefully we can get this one right this time. We'll take SPG long through, and there it goes. I mean, it falls right back again. We take SPG long here on a nice little move back upside, but then we get out when it breaks through 50. So that one, again, can go into the gates of hell. We just took a trade there and lost right away. So now we'll wait to see how high that one wants to go. SPG there. So Apple's really the only problem for us today. Apple's going to be a problem. And Foot Locker, I do like this one coming back to life a little bit. Same as that Simon Property Group, 30 and change. It looks like a decent long here for Foot Locker. So let's try that one more time. I guess we'll give Simon Property back to 65 now on this move. We'll see if it wants to get back through 64. And maybe one more try at this VWAP right here, 64.80. We can get that again. Let's try it one more time for Simon Property Group. Long 64.80 if it can get back up there. And then we already talked about Foot Locker. Our spot will be 30.30 on this one.
I'm going to put myself under the bus here and throw out the coming up for you guys because I find this absolutely hilarious. Coming up, I don't know why that didn't work. Did that work for me? If you guys can hit that. There it is. Trend trading we're going to be talking about, or at least we talked about it and we're releasing it today on our Market Wisdom channel. Certainly you want to master trading the trend. The trend is your friend. And as I say that, the reason why is every now and then, if you're going to be shorting sort of gap fills or some of these parabolic 2-3 day movers, you have to short against the trend, and I did do that in CNDT. However, this time, I sort of went with two stops here. I know at the high of day, I'm breaking, reversing from short to long, but I wanted to have a 450 stop for half my position and the other half at the actual high, just so that I can lower the amount of risk. It is sort of a strong move to the upside, so it broke the first level. Now if it rolls over here, we'll have given some profit away, but I still like that $4 target in that event, and we'd still be up in that case. Just sort of less money that I've lost if it breaks 455 here, but also I'll be more long than I would before. So So just changing my risk parameters here on CNDT. Still short, but did take half off. Brandon, what do you got?
A little volume coming into T2 Biosystems, TTOO, guys, in around the NASDAQ, rather 15%. Just spiked from $1.75 up to $2 on the daily time frame. $2, a monster level for this thing. TTOO on the move, guys.
TTOO, okay, take two. Not take two, TTTW, take two. Okay, let's check out Nikola again as well. Thanks for that update there, Brendan. Yeah, Nikola obviously comes crashing back down from 44.50 all the way down now. Looks like it's trying to get some speed back to the north side here for itself. It's just building up a bottom here at 40.73. This could be a good little spot to think about a long breaking through here. 41.38 on Nikola. 41.55 maybe a good little level as well up here. 41.55. This top of this wick right there. So 41.55, a good spot on Nikola. Kodak still bouncing around. We're waiting for this one, man. I mean, I can put an order right here. That would make most sense, 10.40, because it's bounced there a whole bunch of times. But we'll wait to see what that one wants to do. Here goes whatever. I mean, Apple right now, I said I'm going to stay away from it. Futures coming back to the upside, so let's see if we can't get long on something else. Rocket Mortgage, I still like that through 24.30. We'll take some more long. We still have it. And then Foot Locker, we're waiting, man. We just have a nice little trade on. 29.39. That's this long right here. Foot Locker, we took it off the open. We just got out for flat at 30. Let's wait to see what it wants to do here going backside. Look, if Nike's a tell for it, then we'll sign up, because Nike right now on those good Foot Locker numbers right to the upside. Should have played that through this break. Next time we get an earnings report like that, we're going to have to look over there. And your Fastly, by the way, came all the way back down. Wasn't Fastly up 7 or 8%? FSLY here on New York, back to $80. So yeah, wow, 85. That straight drop on Fastly. Let's see if we can pick this up somewhere, guys.
Yeah, and a bit of a break here. I was going to show you guys a level 2 of a buyer on TRVN here at 325. I'm still short at 338 here. I did just see a big level break to the downside. If it re-ups here and sort of jumps back, big size on the bid, the same buyer maybe stepping in and buying into some shares or covering a big short, I don't really care which one it is. I'm likely to take some more in front of that little low of the day. I've already taken a lot of profit down in this range at 325, but I'd certainly add to that if I see this sort of juice up from this price. And I'm likely to move my stop as well. 350 doesn't make any more sense to me. 340 is the new stop on that name. I do want to get back to that CNDT. I won't be taking profit on this until we get a little bit closer to that 420 range, guys. It's just one of those, if you're going to risk in front of the high of the day here, it needs to at least roll through 430, maybe give you some out in front of 425, 420, and then look to see if it can push lower. From a risk to reward standpoint, you're not standing in front of a train like this unless you're taking a bigger win. And there goes McRib up to $24. So it continues the run to the upside, MCRB.
McRib, and here goes CCL as well, up to 15. So this is a big trade for us here. 26 cents, or sorry, 52 cents in the money. The 26 cent in the money is this one. And it just keeps on doing its move here. We are going to eventually get out of this. We're very, very light on this stock. Now we're holding that 10% that we've had. So this one cannot be a loser at all. We'll wait to see if Kodak wants to keep taking out the top. But we keep talking about the same name. It's because we're in it. 24.03. Still waiting for Rocket to go upside as well. My position for their Rocket would be a buy, just as I'm checking 24.35. It's this top right here, where we got out. We can move it down maybe to 24.20, but that's just trying to get a little bit aggressive there on Kodak, Twitter, and then Apple, guys. Apple's been the worst stock for us, and good thing I didn't go long again on a 450 break as it keeps coming back downside. We should look into a spot where we can short some Apple, but we'll wait. Look at this stock. Futures bump up, Apple bumps down, so that's something for sure. It looks like we're at the big screen now with a few upgrades and downgrades, one of my favorite segments.
Hey guys, yeah, let's get you a few more symbols to have a look at this morning. Upgrades on this side, downgrades over on that side this morning. FedEx we talked about, huge move. Going to show you that one in a second. Really nice looking chart as well. Pinterest as well, moving higher today on an upgrade. So have a look at Pins, Q2, the only one really on this side doing anything. We'll show you that one, but everything else on the downgrade side of things, not terribly exciting so far today. We'll shift over here and have a look at FedEx. Yeah, just broke day highs here for FDX, still doing decent volume as well. So up 5.4% for FedEx on an upgrade today. And Q2, QTWO in New York to the downside, held $94, a little bit thinly traded on this one, but trying to break to the upside here as well. This thing was trading around 98.5 to 99 at the close on Friday. Guys, back over to you.
Just having a quick look at Nikola, sort of a failed break through this 40.70 to the downside and wicking down and coming immediately back up northbound. I still am looking at 42.50 for a breakout back to the upside. We're going to go with that, but I think another retest of that low could give you a short scalp. I'm not really loving the short. I've only gone long today. I've been looking for buy the dip opportunities. I think if it takes it out, we're probably looking at that 40 level that we liked last week, certainly to the upside, is what potentially a place to buy. But for me, it's going to be 42.50 on the break. It's sort of gone away from this 40.70 area down here after that failed break to the downside. And MCRB with another halt, $28 right now. Continues to halt to the upside. I'm unlikely to play this one unless we get some kind of a pullback in. I think it's a little bit too overheated in my humble opinion, 500%. It's getting a little ridiculous. This is pure squeeze territory. If it starts to come back, I'll look for the sellers to give me an indication, or the buyers at least to dry up before I would jump into this one on the sell side. If you're in it, I mean, I would consider taking profit. This one, it's gotten out of hand.
We are going to try this one more time here on SPG, getting ready to go long, this time above 90. It came all the way back. We did hold some of it, so we're stuck long right now. Not stuck, it's a good trade, 64.72 right here, waiting for 90s to break. And then we'll see if we can't run this back upside. SPG up, that's 4%. We did hear the news. Amazon and SPG hopefully trying to come up with some use for that empty property that they own right there. They're not going to get a good price or a good rental agreement probably from Amazon, but who knows? We don't know that. So we'll wait on this one. Moving to the upside, just breaks through VWAP right now. Normally I'd be long on that VWAP break. That's exactly where we took it last time, but I think we're being a little better here, waiting for 64.90 or so to break it. There goes Kodak. So here we go. Superman finally upside here, 10.68. We were waiting for this, and we're only hitting Superman because we think this thing could get to the upside here, crushing through 11. Let's put an order like at 11.40 or so, just in case it does go upside. What's up, Valeria?
Hey guys, I hope you have a great day so far. If you joined us for the first time, please subscribe to this channel and catch us live every day at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Also guys, so far 567 people joined our membership. Thank you very much. We appreciate your support, and all we do for you guys. If you want to support us also, you can find join button on our homepage next to subscribe. And guys, please smash the like button. I'll see you later, and back to traders.
Thank you very much. I just want to quickly jump in Penn game. We did talk about Penn a little bit earlier. They got a downgrade from kind of nobody, but sort of bouncing off the 46.50 area to the bottom here. Bottom pick, I would have liked it if we got a shot around that 47. We kind of missed that just a few minutes ago. So you're kind of looking to see if it does retest that low. I've sort of gotten burned at this time of day trying to pick that second move when we sort of should have had the first one here off of 47. But I might give it one shot. I'd love to see it test 46.50, bounce off that price again. It's likely for me to be a short if it were to break that. I think you get some momentum, maybe going into 46 even. That's just a scalp kind of idea. Watch out, however, for me, I look at this 6-cent spread. I did see 10 cents a couple of seconds ago. So despite the good volume, Penn, a little more spready than normal when I look at this bid to ask. So watch out for any stop orders that you do have on Penn Gaming. Certainly looks like it's a little more volatile than normal. I want to jump back over, of course, to Nikola.
Spready.
If it does, yeah, I know, that's one we got from our good friend Randy. We didn't make that one up, guys. We have an entire team with the awful puns that we get to you guys.
Absolutely awful, yeah.
It is horrible. I'm not, I'm not defending it.
It's good.
So I'm going to use it. 40.50 looks like might be tested to the downside on Nikola. I'm not going short there, but if you have some longs, that could be a bit of a breaking point. We like 40 even. It's worth noting 39.30 in the pre-market was sort of the pullback buy range, I think. So maybe you can catch it down there. Decent buy opportunity if he gets there on Nikola.
Okay, here goes SPG finally for us. We did take that 64.890 break, like we said. Now upside, now 65, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21s. Let's hope we can get out a little bit. We've been taking some out on the top side here. A lot of our breakouts really haven't been working today. The future is not doing a whole hell of a lot, which has kind of hurt us a little bit. But really, we're only hurt on Apple today. Other than that, everything else working out nicely for us. We're still waiting on Kodak to break 11. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but right now we're stuck at 10.50. What up, Brendan?
Deer, guys, DE in New York up 2.5% today. Just broke 188 there. A huge volume spike for DE. Not one we look at often, but a nice trending move to the upside, guys.
All right, we're also long CGC again, guys. So we Batman back here off the top play. If we just held everything, man, I mean, we'd be fine. But we are unable to. So let's go. Here we go. Now to the upside, CGC canopy growth off earnings. So we're long that one now. Looking to see if we can't touch and sniff out a little bit here. $19. Here's the daily chart. It's had some problems right here. So that's why I'm thinking this is what's happening right now. Running into some problems at 19. So canopy, we'll try it again. Here we go. We take some profits. Let's see how high this one wants to go. But Simon Property Group, bang! Finally, a nice little win on Simon Group. So we'll see how high this one wants to go.
Yeah, just looking back at Foot Locker here, it's trying to recover all the way back to that 30 even area. Look at the nice consolidation off of $30. Worth noting, this sort of opening range top was, right at 930. You're looking at about 30.17. I'd be much more interested in like the 30.50 area to the upside, but it's going to give you a shot, maybe even rolling over here. And I think you take it in front of that 30, or you take it in front of that 30.50. Foot Locker's starting to come back in. It's only a break through the 50 for me in terms of a long trade. Otherwise, I'm going to likely stay with the short side here, starting with a short in front of 30 even if we can catch it.
Okay, yeah, we're just dumping some Simon Property here on a nice move upside. We got to take this profit for show. Okay, and then here goes CGC. We're still on that name, guys. CCL, and bang, there it is, CCL with the banger up to 15.15 on that doozy of a break. We never got out of anything all the way to the upside here. Oh, we got out of this, nothing for loser. Never went against us here. I mean, maybe it went against us 6 pennies or so. But yeah, now we go to the upside. Nice little win there. Follow me all on Twitter, guys, if you can. Trader TV Sean, 6,300. Let's refresh that, see if we got any more today. Yeah, 63.16 so far. So follow us all on Twitter. Ask us any questions. We have direct messages loaded up in there as well. Kodak trying, guys, trying. I'm still waiting for this. I have an order above 11, believe it or not. So we'll see if that one wants to go. And here goes CGC through 80. So a nice little win once again as we put on our glasses and see how high this one can go. That's CGC.
Yeah, not going high, guys, going low, TRV, and we get the bullseye action on this one all the way down to $3, almost at this point. Just got some shares out at $3.11. We're loading back in at this one in the $3.30 to $3.40 range. Took a bunch out in front of the quarter, still holding on to some, now about 30 pennies in the money. So we shorted this one starting in the pre-market at 65. We got wicked out of our last little bit. We re-entered this one on a couple of pops to 50, then to 44, and some entry points in the low 20s as well. Continues its trend. I'll be shorting every pop in front of VWAP. As long as this holds below like 350, you'll see me on the short side trade of TRVN. Nice one so far today. Brennan, what do you got?
OMER guys, Omeris Group, they had a 16 patient study for their COVID-19, potential COVID-19 vaccine that came back 100% to the correct side. So all 16 patients were cured of COVID-19 that participated in the study. So back to 25 here for this thing. Very thinly traded, OMER. It's trading basically dollars at a time. This thing was $14 back on Friday, guys.
All right, CGC, we're using this momentum to get some out here. CGC, so there it is, 81.82, good trade. Now $1 in the money, finally, for Simon Property Group. Nothing but love here for you, Simon Property, as we continue to go upside on that one. Nice move. Needless to say, out some there, 60.67. I just wish this would have happened earlier on, but instead, pant down us right there on this move. We tried this move before. It's already been up here, guys. Let's get out. $66. Boom, a nice little win right there as we go $1.20 now in the money on this name. CCL 63 cents in the money. CGC 7 cents in the money. Let's get some more out. Simon Property Group, big win here, guys. 66.20.
Yeah, just quick look at NCLH. Yeah, I see there Russell Jackson, one of our members, they're pointing it out. Up 8%, big time movement. A lot of times we'll talk about Carnival and not necessarily NCLH, but making a round up and watch out for the break into about 15.95 if we get there. At any point in front of that 16, that's going to be an obvious short for me. I don't know if we're going to get there today, but I didn't think we'd be up 9% on this name in the first place. So I want to throw that one out there for you guys. If it starts to roll, I'll probably look for some kind of a short entry. Just finally got into tops when it broke 150 to the downside. So add that short to the list. We added Foot Locker as well in front of 30 even.
Yeah, exactly. I was just saying, yeah, buddy, because SPG now at day's high as well as CGC now, 80. So that's where you just cashed them out there, 80, 81, 82. Again, we're not almost out. We're out of less than half, actually, as I checked. But this name, again, having some problems up here on the high side. So Canopy Growth right now, we're going to have to see what that one wants to do. But $1.50 now in the money here. Let's cash some more out of Simon Property Group. It took its time, guys. We waited for this one very, very patiently. Now we're rewarded with $1.55 now in the money and still breaking higher and higher. This is also a name I own in my own account, so we're super happy. This 7% is what they pay in dividends, so you make that back in one day right there. And Simon Property Group to the north side, big time trade. Oh yeah, and by the way, Kodak, bag. Superman in the building on Kodak today. Not only do we trade this name, we traded Apple, which was a huge loser, but Kodak right now making it back on this one. Let's see how high this wants to go. I think it's smart maybe to take some out right here as it bounces around $11. This is $1.10 in the money. $1.70 now for Simon Property Group.
Here's the break on Nicola. So heading southbound, guys, I took my long for a scalp trade. It was first bounce off the pre-market or sort of the opening range bottom. Now we've taken out that bottom. I mentioned 39.30 to 39 even is sort of the next support area on the way up in the pre-market off that news. That is where it reversed to. That's where the pullback trade was. So I'd look for some consolidation down there. I did mention Foot Locker. We're basically flat on that trade, but I have to get back over to TRVN. We're going to hang on to the short with this one. Again, we've already taken a bunch of profit off here. It's sort of binary for me. Either break 3 even and head down towards Friday's close, which would be fantastic, very unlikely as well at 240. But we're going to get back in if we get anything around that 325 range. Not sliding my stop just yet, but I have to consider now that we're so far removed from that 350 out, we might not give it all the way back there, but it continues to slide down in the money, 40 pennies on this $3 name. And if it breaks 3 even, we're going to hang on. It is time for our small cap recap. Let's go to the big screen with Brendan.
It was a pretty exciting morning in small cap world. TRVN, we'll touch on that one in a second here, but IBIO, one we mentioned right before the open this morning. If you go back to 925, talked about $5, really like that $5 level from the daily chart. Didn't come anywhere close to it. Turned out 475, 480 was the top. I only got one entry there, wanted a lot more up at 5, but we're, back to 380 here. For IBIO, so 470, 475, depending on where you got into it. Back to $4 there on the move to the downside. For IBIO, really nice look on this one as well, 27%. 350 up to about 370 was this level from the pre-market. Came back into play there just at the open. We're down to, as Neil was mentioning, $3 on TRVN. Really like this one in the pre-market as well, but straight to the upside. Could have taken any one of these breaks to the upside this morning and been laughing all the way to the bank. But as far as downside goes, $16 has to get below that $16 level before it comes into play on the short side for MCRB, guys.
Yeah, I was just noting that you mentioned one of those. You mentioned our good friend, my good friend TRVN there at $3. A big buyer stepped up to get me out of the rest of my shares at 342 was the short on our last reload, but a buyer that stepped in here and turned the stock right around, sort of bottoming out here at that 3. If it's going to make a break through 3 even, I'm sure we can just take that break for a bit of a scalp trade. Just use that liquidity to our advantage. It is going to be still positive on the day at 28% upside, but I'm looking now at that 325 for a pullback sell if we can get it. I did get into top ships. Now keep in mind, this stock was 9 cents with a reverse split 25 times. So 225 would have been that implied price. It's been under pressure all morning long. We took the break at 150, looking to see if we can run that into the low of the day, at least since the open at $1.38.
And here goes Kodak again, guys. Look, I was joking about 1140, but I'm still there. We did take some out there at 1080. This is a monster win, $1.30 now in the money on Kodak. So you guys can see how well that trade has worked out for us. So we'll continue to see how much better it can go. But we are out again, another spot there. So we have very small left, but we are ringing the registers, though, for sure on this name, 1105. We're long right now at 975. So it is what it is. I'm going to tweet tweet this out soon for you as well. This plus our CCL trade. We did dump our CCL trade. I just didn't want it to break back through 15, so we did get some out at 15.03. Now flat on CGC, so that was a good trade. And you guys know, whenever we trade CGC, we do, or not CGC, sorry, CCL, we do take the stick out there. So a nice little trade for CCL. Nothing but love to the upside for you, my friend. Let's see how much money we can get on that if there's a pullback. 15.30, wow, can't believe how high that one went. And then the other one was CGC. This is what we're talking about, fading right back in, guys, looking at that 18.40. Good thing we took some profits, even took profits on the way back down. So CGC, no friend of mine today, guys.
Yeah, and speaking of friends of ours, Macy's has usually been a good stock every time we've touched it. Just worth noting, up 5%, getting a bit of a push off the open at 9:30. They would possibly have some stores if they were under trouble there to make a deal with Amazon. Not saying that's going to happen, of course, but 7 even is the top. It's tested at 1, 2, 3. Now trying for a 4th time. I'm going to do the usual here, and that scalp in front. We can probably get in and out a few times before it breaks 7 even. If it does, we're likely to reverse to long. Anytime you see a high like this on a cheap name and you got direct market access, we're going to take a few cracks at this. If you don't have direct market access, you're not getting paid to sit on the offer like I will be. Not always the best of trades, but I can put that one on, so we're going to go ahead and do that. 7 even is the breakout price here on Macy's. Otherwise, going to take a shot short in front of it.
Okay, yeah, we're doing the same thing here with a lot of our positions. Just watching out, trying to take some profits here as we go. SPG, we just did take some out again. Now we're pretty light on that one, but a big win there as SPG looks like it wants to go. That's a good trade, so taking a looking at that. Uber as well, guys, another name we haven't looked at today, but we do love some Uber off that report last week. I think it was Thursday. Big report for Uber, now falling to the backside here. We have to work the trades that we currently have, though. And that was this, 11.40. I was just kind of joking about that, but Kodak gets to 11.22 there. Let's see how high this one wants to go. If it can give us 11.40, then wow, that would be a banger, but we are long 9.75. We keep talking about that one. Thank you for all of the love today, guys, on the chat and whatnot. Neil and I obviously reading everything as we go, but it's hard to pick out some stocks, guys. From you. What's up, Brendan?
GoGo, guys, another one that reported in the pre-market this morning. Big gap up for GOGO. Faded this gap, though, at the open. 375 all the way back to where we were on Friday. Now we're all the way back to day highs for GOGO. The report was decent, guys.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one that's added to the list. I did get into Macy's just there. So you'll see that 99 little short that we got on. I want to update you guys on Foot Locker. It's still in the consolidation phase here. I've had a few entry points. And again, I'm talking about this 30 area. I'm talking about this opening range sort of top at about 30.15 to 30.20 that we see if we can retrace. And if it breaks through VWAP, we'll take some out in front. We'll take some out on the push to the downside with a very, very tight stop up here. My price is just at 29.80s. I'm not going to go long unless we get a 30.50 break. I think we talked a little bit about that certainly in the pre-market. But as far as that trade in Macy's goes, it's going to be taking 2, 4, 6, maybe 10, 15 cents tops on the last little 20% if we do get a nice little retracement on it. But it's a kind of idea that for us as a day trader, it's one of those risk to rewards that I'm going to like here. And it's going to be a reversal all day. Anytime I see a high like that, that's 7 even, with a bit of size on the offer, we'll try to take advantage of it. Still have a little bit of that CNDT as well to the short side, but going to go back over to Nikola, which continues its run, pulling back here. Brennan, what do you got?
Big day for Cleveland Cliffs. CLF up almost 10% here. Just popped up on a volume scanner, coming up to $6. Big level for CLF here, $6 if you have a look at the daily chart. No significant news on it, though, just straight higher, guys.
Cleveland Cliffs, yeah, CLF. Okay, we will look at that. Kodak, again, let's not be too silly here. Okay, CGC, we're getting ready to get out of this one. Like we said, we'll fall in the hole once again on that one. So CGC, if it breaks through this 1840 level, we'll get out, which could happen very, very soon. Needless to say here on CGC, it looks like this one may come out very, very soon. I just want to double check my order where we were getting out of this one on here, and it was an 1840 break. So we're going to break that very soon. We'll get out of CGC. Not a good one, but SPG right now, $1.30. Trying to make that move once again. We still have these on.
Yeah, and I'm looking at that GoGo that, of course, Brendan mentioned. It just broke the pre-market high, but just not a lot of juice to the upside on this trade. It just sort of, pittered teetered out here at about 380 or so and starting to come back in. I feel like if it's going to hold lower than that pre-market top, you get a bit of a failed break look, and then 370 would be a breakdown point. It's solid volume, not the largest I've seen here this morning, but certainly worth a look here at a 370 break back on go-go. I did, of course, just mention Nikola to get back to this name. It's trying to put in a bottom. It tested that 40 even just once here, and there goes a reversal in Macy's, guys. So broke through 7 even. I'm actually going to be long now on a 7 even break on Macy's. So you risk a couple of cents to try and see if you can get that short. And now we're going to go long on that 7 even break. Triple top there on Macy's. Nikola holding 40. I think I'll take at least one try. If 40 is going to be my stop, see if it can't break back up towards VWAP. Gives you, at this point, about 2 to 1, maybe even 3 to 1 win-loss ratio, depending where you can get in.
Yep, good look there, Nikola, for sure. I do like that name. We are still waiting for SPG to take out the top, which it's right here, right now, and that's a good one. So Superman for SPG today. The only stock that's really been a big problem is CGC, and there it is, gets flushed out right there through 1825. We took out the top here when it made new highs, and thank God we were able to cash not the majority, but about half out there, and then putting this stock right back into the gates of hell. So CGC and Apple so far today, really the problem stocks, but look at Apple, man. We try to defend the. I don't even know. This was a crazy trade up to 455 there on a big run, but then Apple says no way and comes right back to the downside. So Apple, yeah, not a good trade there as we look back at it, but we did like it at that time. Maybe here 448 on a break, but I need some news here. I don't know why Apple just continues its move down. It's heated like crazy. It's still up more than the market, but watch out if you do like Apple. I would take it here through 448.50, but my calls haven't been great, obviously.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed in myself. Brendan mentioned the airlines. Of course, we had that on our watch list, and when we talked about them, we liked one breakout, and was just the only thing I had written down was taking out that 1340. It gave you a nice little scalp. And the thing I'm not happy about is it gave you this retracement play right back through that opening range break. It holds the open low at 13.25, and then you get a secondary move up to $14. So there you go. Good look there. Thank you, Tyler. I want to make sure I get your name right there. Macy's was a good stock. Previously, we were doing some sort of not really swing trading. I mean, if you're looking at it on a day's range, it was holding a nice little 635 bottom for a while. It would give you 40, 50 cents literally every single day. Breakout here, hopefully at $1. But this wasn't the long off of that 635 we're looking at a couple of weeks ago. This is just simply watching the breakout and then, sort of trying that little short, risking a couple of pennies. I'm now long, of course, on the break at 702. I will take that on the way up. I don't really have any obvious targets to the upside other than looking at the last time we broke this price. It stalled at 7.25. I'll certainly scalp it all the way into that range.
Okay, we did take NIO long here. NEO, of course, through 13.99. It does come back big time down there. We should have maybe waited for some 90s there, but we take it right away. Getting some out at 02 there. Obviously, we want a little higher than that. We'll see if it can get back up to VWAP here at 14.11 or so. Having a little bit of a problem, but we will take some out as we go to the upside. Now, Kodak making new highs. Is it? No, it's not. I was looking at my net there. It keeps growing. That's because it was 1060 up to 1083 and change right now on that name. SPG still that $1.52 in the money. Other than that, man, our CGC getting flushed at that level. I don't want to do an Apple to myself and try it again, but we still are long a little bit of this name, so we'll see what this wants to bring us later on today. But for right now, I think we'll leave CGC alone. Maybe if it comes back to day's high, fine, but this is the problem, man. I don't know why I get involved with these names. They're never very profitable for me, so CGC there for the cannabis space. I love trading Afria and ACB. This seems to be way too whippy, like up 9%. Yet look at this action. We're right back to where we opened here on CGC, so not much happening there. And NIO, we're going to give this to 94, so we'll probably get broken out here really soon. We're just trying this to the upside. Doesn't look like it wanted to go there, guys.
I'm going to hit this key, which I don't use very often, and it's, look, you have a wild market. I mean, it's sideways action overall, but we have lots of names that are in play. One of them was supposed to be Foot Locker, and now we're getting a heck of a lot of nothing in front of that 30. Look, I'm not sitting here out of the money. I'm basically at the money on my short, but I mean, come on. Make a break at some point, Foot Locker. Looks like Macy's is starting to go to the upside, so that break working out for us. Just took the first 10th off, for a 5-cent win. We'll sort of work that one out to 725 on a 702 breakout to the long. Brendan, what do you have for us, buddy? Nope. Oh, sorry. No, I guess it's not Brendan. But Well, there you go. I call out Foot Locker, and it does finally start to move to the downside for me. It needs to at least break down to like 29.60 for me to start taking some shares out, 20 to 25 cents on the first little leg there. And if we can get it moved down to the 29.25, we'll take some more out on the way back in. It's still up 8%, but the retracement has been the name of the game. How it got up to 36 in the pre-market, I'm going to leave that one up to you guys. We see these moves happen from time to time. Incredibly overextended, obviously. Doesn't mean it can't do a secondary break through 30.50, but I'm betting on the short. Here it finally comes in after I was sort of calling out the name. I just took some out in front of VWAP. We'll see if we can't hold the rest for a bigger flush, guys.
Good call there. Yeah, Foot Locker. We're waiting still for a longer break, but I don't know if that's going to happen, so we'll wait for that. Okay, we're going to try Apple one more time, and if we can get it, then that'd be fantastic. Breaking through 449.70 to the upside. There goes Nio. Finally, what's up, Brandon?
Win, guys. We were talking about MGM getting a big investment from IAC this morning, but breaking back to the downside, MGM is this win, though, not so much, 9.5%. Just taking out day highs here above 81. Volume coming back in above 81 for Win, guys.
Oh my goodness, Win. And we're missing lots of these movers that we're missing out. I just want to quickly update, of course, Macy's position we do have on to the long side. Call out that little triple top, quadruple top, I don't know how you want to call it, but just got some more shares out in the 712 price range. Like I said, I'm going to be taking them out all the way up to 725. I feel like in Macy's, when it does like 8 million shares in volume, if you can catch a little scalps on a $7 stock, it's just so liquid here that I'm going to continue to work this one out. 725 was the first level I looked at. It's definitely going to be another break through that price. I love this trade. Even if it pulls back in, we can maybe reload in front of 695 instead of 7. That's a long ways away. We'll just sort of be happy with the win that we got on this. Top Ship's not moving, but Foot Locker, I kind of talked about this being sleepy, and then the second I do that, Macy's breaks to the upside for me, and Foot Locker is trying its hand to the downside. It did break through VWAP here and put me in the money, only about 25, 30 cents, but pulling right back in. My stop is still going to be at 30.20, and I'm target right down here, this little turquoise line, down at about 29.35, guys.
We got a big win again here finally on NEO. We go long 99s here. We're cashing out now 8s, 9s, 10s. I didn't think we'd get as high as 10 here, but let's take some out now. 8s and 9s for sure on NIO. So a nice little runner to the north side for this name. And there goes SPG. We still have some on. Darn it, I wish we had them all still on, but we were looking at 64.90 right here for the long, and that's what we took, 64.90. It's now at $67, so a nice little $2 win right now, so that's putting a smile on this guy's face as we go, so thank you so much, Simon Property Group, for a nice little win. $2 now plus in the money on that one, making me not feel so bad about Apple. Fastly, though, I wish this one would go, because I think we're consolidating nicely now. Fastly did have a big report last week. We saw what happened to them. Got absolutely destroyed from 115 all the way down. A little bit of concern there on the TikTok news and on exactly what their customer base is and how that may be affected here with the takeover. They may move away from Fastly software, but I don't know, 75.22 here on the daily. Looks like it could be something, but we're only at 78 and change right now on Fastly. I really do wish that we could take out this top 79.97 there. The order that I had to go long, guys, was breaking back upside here, 81.30 as I check on that order, so we can definitely cancel that because that's not going to happen. And it may be a good spot to start building right here, guys. Fastly, 78.57, a possibly good spot to build, but we just did turn negative, so watch out if you do decide to do that.
Yeah, another pop here in American Airlines, up now 9%, sort of testing this sort of previous level. You go, the last little high it made up here was back in July 1st, actually. So you're watching this sort of 14.25 price range, 14.20 the current high. I would look at 25, see if it can hold that one up. But before we do that, let's get to Brennan at the big screen. It's time for a Sector Watch.
Hey guys, yeah, about that time. Let's have a look at the overall S&P 500 here. We'll see how things are shaping up so far. We're positive, but only just 0.2%. To the upside for the S&P. Consumer discretionary stocks, industrials leading the way here. Unlike last week, the tech shares getting a little bit of a pullback today. So the entire tech group in negative territory, offsetting a lot of this other strength. Worth noting, energy stocks really positive so far today. Some of the oil group moving around so far. Let's start with these, though. All the travel names in here. Cruise lines and some of the hotels. This is a little bit deceiving. That was up close to 20% earlier, so MGM has come off a long way. Now only 13.6%. Just mentioned this one, though, Wynn definitely stronger than LVS. But all of these right here leading this group higher so far today. Some of the consumer durables as well. Under Armour in here, Ralph Lauren, Tapestry, they're 5%, all having a nice day as well, helping to push the market higher. Industrials are strong, led by this guy, Boeing, 4.5% on Boeing today. No significant news behind that, but nice look. GE's there, CMI and CAT also in positive territory. There's FedEx on the upgrade today, 6.7%. AAL, UAL, Love, and Dow all here as well as far as the airlines are concerned. So industrials being led by some of the transportation names. Just want to mention this real quick. Healthcare stocks are weak. Did start the day in positive territory, back into negative territory. So negativity coming from tech shares and the healthcare group offsetting basically everything else. We are higher, but only 0.2% for the S&P. Back over to Sean.
Yes, back over to me as we go. But yeah, it's funny because we did talk about Boeing earlier and why we liked Boeing, and we didn't trade it. So nice little move to the upside. But guys, I just want to do a little bit of a quick little look here. I want to say thank you to all of our members today. Daryl here, Elizabeth, you're big on the show as well. PC Trader, 365 days to trade. Look, we need some memberships, guys. This show is being put on for free. So if you want to continue to support the show, that'd be absolutely fantastic. It's $5 a month. So hopefully we can get that in our pockets. It's like one trade if you're not using Robinhood, I guess. $5 a month will continue to be here every single day. Make sure you sign up for our watch list. Very important for us. I did want to give a shout out right now as well. Thank you so much, Brandon, for coming on board. Thank you so much for that one. Means a lot to us. Continue to support the show, and we'll be here for you every single day. You can follow us as well. If you're a member, hit us up on Twitter and whatnot. Thank you so much, Joseph. One of our big ones. Marlon as well. Chaz. I mean, I can keep shouting out everybody, but yeah, hit the like and hit the subscribe, guys. Very important to keep supporting the show as we go. So, we have Valeria here. She needs those extra latte, double sugar, vanilla, cream,
quadruple,
cafe, whatever
diabetes
it is.
action, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, maybe you know what it's called, Neil.
I have no idea, man. And like, you know me, I don't actually set full. Starbucks is good coffee. I just don't step inside there. It's one of those like long-standing things for me. I want to get back over quickly. I know some of you guys are in May season for the style of trade where I look at a break at that 7. If I have 725 or looking at it in the daily chart, and that was the level that we looked at to the upside, the next one. When it gets to that price, I'm just always going to be flat at that point. I'm looking for a pullback. I'm looking for a secondary break. So take some more shares off at 718 here. See if we can't run this one up to that quarter mark. I will be all out of it. I still only have about 20% now that it's gotten close to 725. I don't want to get caught not taking profits on this one. It's approaching that 10 million in volume, guys. So Macy's, a good one to the upside. Foot Locker's still doing absolutely nothing. So I don't want to, it's only about 10 cents in the money for me. I'm looking for at least 40 or 50 on the second push. Norwegian is finally trying to consolidate here at the top as the market just continues its sideways action. You can't accuse that of the NASDAQ, of course, which is heading towards its bottom. But if we roll over here in Norwegian, I'm looking at 15 even, likely for a breakdown price. If you took it here, maybe you give it to the high a day. I don't really like that just yet. Maybe a little bit later on, I can be convinced to take this short. Otherwise, it's like a 15 even break. Scalp that one into VWAP. Brennan, what do you got?
So we were talking about that Simon Properties, SPG. There's also this one, SRG, which is another stock from that same group, property group, SRG in New York, up 26% today. This is earnings. So they actually reported earnings in the pre-market this morning that were better than expected, just taking out day highs here. So that entire group doing very well today, guys.
Yeah, we got to look at BPY as well there in Canada, Brookfield Properties. But yeah, look, I mean, I've loved this stock for a while here, SPG. I keep talking about it as a long-term investment for many traders. I've been just picking some longs up here on these bottoms, 58, 59, 60, if you can get it. And now it looks like we're going to get above right here. I do love this 50-period moving average on a daily. So that's roughly right here, guys, 67.70. And what a surprise, 67.25, the day high here on SPG. We're we're still holding small, very small, 65s basically long. So $1.55 in the money on that one. Our NIO, man, we've just been getting out. This was a nice little quick scalp. Thank God we were able to get some out at 8, 7, 6s and 5s and 4s and 10s. Now it's bouncing back and around. Again, we're very, very light on NIO. This has been a good one for that. So I don't know, we'll punch that one out. Good trade for us on NEO today. So good on that. Hopefully you guys have that as well. Disney up to 130 right now again. No surprise, we've been trading this name for a bit, but Disney cracked 131 here. Let's see on a little bit of a longer time frame. I think we can probably switch over to 3 minutes now. Are we close? It's 10:45. We do have our guest trader of the day coming on today as well. That should be fun. And then actually here, coming up after the show, not only do we trade, we also have another trend trading video. So if you're interested in trend trades and how those, look and how they shape up and maybe some strategies, watch out for trend trading. Wow, the market taking off to the downside.
Yeah,
nice
and taking up to the upside. Speaking of trends there, Sean, Sorrento just testing the highs again. I mean, you buy any break, you buy any dip this morning, and I see you guys talking about it. So obviously some people profiting, I hope at least, in our group from this parabolic move to the upside once again. We've seen Sorrento do this in the past. It's continuing sort of like a second, third, fourth, however many breaks you want to call it. So it's fresh highs on Sorrento. I have no point. There's no levels up here, and I don't really have any sort of a target for where I'd at least try a rollover. Now that it's made this little break here, 16.75, I'd watch 17 even on the off chance that maybe there's some size up there. If you are long, I'd watch out for that price. I do want to quickly jump back over to CNDT. I was talking about this one a little bit earlier. I had two stops on CNDT. One was going to be at the pre-market top, and the other one was at 450. And why? I wanted to lighten my risk when I was counter trend trading here. It did break back to the downside, took some out in front of VWAP, then added to the position when it broke this 430 area. So it broke this little pullback area at 430. I add instead of taking off. Next level down will be breaking 420. And then I have a 432 average short price. So I'll probably start taking some out in the teens, working it all the way down to 4 even. And it had a bit of a bottom opening range at 395. I'd likely be all out in front of 4 even and that 395 price, guys. So CNDT did hold up. Didn't take off the top at that pre-market high. If it ever does, maybe in the afternoon, I'd still go long. But right now, short's in the money.
I was just looking here at JP Morgan. JP Morgan not looking horrible. Okay, so we did get out of our NIO there, slayed that dragon finally. And again, it's just a matter of the share sizes. I see some people on the chat talking a little bit about share sizing and NIO, and it's just a matter of how many shares do you use, right? Because getting some out here for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 pennies when you're scalping, that can be a profitable trade. So just know your style and know what you're getting into before you start to go ahead and making those trades. Okay, here's JP Morgan coming through, $101 maybe. That's the VWAP right here, 101.16. Remember, this is a 3-minute chart. Watch how it will change now that we go to a 1-minute chart. 1 minute chart actually doesn't change that much because of the movement today, but 101.16, so a little more aggressive on a 1-minute chart for the VWAP, but we are making that move back.
Apple's just flushing here.
Yeah, I should have noticed that Apple was a problem earlier, damn it. But yeah, Apple, let's go back and look at that. Yeah, Apple, 442. Again, it's funny, it's flushing from the top, that's for damn sure. That would have, wow.
But I mean, it's all perspective, right? Like you go over the daily chart. I think it's worth looking at, like, drop like a 3 or a 5 minute so you can see the end of last week's action. I apologize for these wicks. You get a lot of block prints and dark pools in Apple, so you'll see these prints down to 37 that happened or didn't happen in the afternoon. But I would be watching down around this 440 area. This was the bottom when it sold off on Friday, and only $4 away. So that feels like it could be in store. And if we do get any chance to bounce off of that, certainly that could be some support for us in the short term on Apple. The last 20% of Macy's, I'm going to go ahead and have a break-even stop on that. I did mention I like to dip by more like 695, so I'm going to hold to that and not let it go past that 702 to 705 range. It's only 20% left. Took most of it out in front of that 725, but I think Apple, for a dip buy, got to be on the radar if it gets to 440, I think.
Oh, man. Apple. I mean, look, they're all, what's happening is very, very simple to me. It's just a rotation back into value because you're seeing JPM up, you're seeing SPG up, you're seeing a lot of these big high-flying tech companies just get crushed right now, including Square, another big holder, another big hold of mine, getting flushed today, down another 5%. I mean, it's nothing here technically, probably, just a breakdown of the sector here. A lot of rotation rotation out of these high flyers. Like, watch, I bet you AMD's down today. We haven't even looked at AMD as well, but let's check out what AMD is down today. Probably another, I mean, look at AMD. I mean, what's wrong with this company? Absolutely nothing. But you do get a flush down to 5%. That's exactly what's happening, guys. We saw it yesterday. We saw it last week. The rotation out of something like the triple Qs and back into some value. So if it can get going and they decide that these are too low, then let's buy something. But AMD right now, not looking great. Let's take a long through AMD. If it can get maybe back above 81 and change, I don't mind a long in AMD. But this is going to be a tough one today, guys. Everyone taking their money out of what I'm going to say high-flying tech companies and putting it into value, you know, and what by value, it's stocks that have dividends, right? So you're going to see one here, JP Morgan, that's in play. You're seeing that up 2%, or it was up 2%. Macy's, another name with a dividend, and how much is that up? Now my charts go, here go Macy's, let's see, up 6.5%, right? So a lot of these names with dividends holding up still today, including Disney, that has tech, but again, a dividend-based name as well, holding up okay today into this flush of the tech sector.
Yeah, and certainly you look at some of the names, you know, like a Pfizer, I think would be a nice little place. You know, healthcare and COVID-related, and a very stable name with a good dividend. It's basically flat, and it's holding on to its sort of a Friday close price. I want to jump back over to McRib here. Yeah, that's what I'm calling it. It's looked like we had a couple of halts here, but one finally to the downside, at least trying to trade below it. It still looks like maybe 25 is a bit of a support, but if you're looking for, I'm looking for a short at this point now that it's coming back in. It does look like 30 even would be that line in the sand for me. Otherwise, it would be a 25 even break for maybe a scalp into like 23 or 20 or 22 even. I'm finally getting some movement in Foot Locker, and it is running in the money for me. As much as I am happy with that slight move, it's still only at 29.50. It needs to break that 29.5 for me to start getting out of this position. I'm short in front of 30 even. I'm looking at first stop about 35 or so. Next leg downside would be that 29. And then maybe we get something in front of that higher low that it put in at 28.50 if it wants to come all the way back in. It got up to 36, and I'm kind of throwing out that pre-market action. I don't think a lot of that was very, very significant given how light the share volume was when it traded up there, guys. I do want to jump back over to a name that Brendan had mentioned, IBIO. I didn't put a trade on here, and I kind of wish I had to the short side. It had a couple of good breaks at 440, and then again at this level in the pre-market at about just in front of 4 even. It's now put in a bottom in front of this little 7 o'clock level at 375 and is trying to make a break back up. Watch out for 4 even on a break back to the upside on IBIO. I'll take a shot at a long there. You can maybe risk about 10, 15 pennies, see if you can get back to that 420 mark.
Yep. Yeah, I like that, guys. Be in cash right now. Dr. Williams, what's up? Another big member. SRNE, RCL, DCs. Okay. And then DPHC. Good couple names there. FANG dropping to 43. We can check that out. And a CCL. There's Daryl as well. What's up? Giving shout outs to all of our members. Become a member if you can. We just did take Simon Property Group long again here above 66. Only giving this one down here to these breaking points, 65.80 or so on SPG in case the market rebounds. We do like this name back up to 67 and change. What's up, Brendan?
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. Let's have a look at some of the FX markets and see how things are shaping up. Through Bitcoin over on the chart over there, back above that high. So we did take out that initial spike high. So we broke 12,000, came right back down, 11,009 and change right now, 908, 3% on the day though. Nice look for Bitcoin again today. We haven't talked about them, but some of the crypto-related stocks or some of the blockchain-related stocks moving around again today. Mara, Riot, those typical ones. Back in positive territory. Ethereum following suit here. 4.6%, 395 for Ethereum once again. Everything else kind of mixed at this point. We saw some big time US dollar strength coming in on Friday following that jobs report that was a little better than expected. Back to the downside though for the US dollar. So you're going to find the euro, the only one kind of lagging really, 117. Down 0.2%. Canadian dollar back to the upside, 0.3%. British pounds higher. Swiss franc is higher as well. Japanese yen to the downside, but both Australia and New Zealand New Zealand was actually in positive territory, has since gone negative, but a little bit of a mixed story as far as some of these related to the US dollar. But yeah, nice move for Bitcoin again. You want to look at GBTC on the pink sheets. OTC markets might give you a little bit of action today. Let's go back over to Neil.
Thank you very much, Brendan. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. You might hear me say that time and time again. We rounded out that short in Foot Locker, sort of in front of this little 30 area. It starts to roll over. He takes him out in front of VWAP. Take another leg out as it just bounced off that 29.50. So I was looking for a break of 29.50 to give me some momentum to catch some shares out just below that price. Instead, it reverses right back. So I will dump the next quarter out of those shares right back here at about 54. So you lock in about a 30-cent win there on that next little bit. I'm now still holding half the position. I'm going to maintain the same stop as before with one slight alteration. It was sort of an area stop at this sort of opening. You look at 9:30 here. This was a little bit of a top at 30.18. I'm going to go with now this little top here. Only have half left at 30 even. So it's still about the same price area, just a little bit lower, closer to break even stop on the second half of that Foot Locker trade. Still have the same two targets to the downside at 29.25 and then down in front of 28.50 in case we get that rollover. As far as Macy's goes, I am all out of that trade now. It was a nice break at 7 even. It could not, as we mentioned, get any further than that 7.20 mark. 7.25 was my target. I took some out on the way back at 7.10. The rest was break even off the 7 even. I thought we'd get 6.95 and be able to buy down here. Unfortunately, that has not happened yet. So, and the market falls off. I don't know if I want to add if this market's going to continue to slide to the downside. However, it's worth noting that's mostly the tech space. Hopefully, Macy's should be immune to that, and we get a shot at VWAP. Yeah, there might be an issue with your mic there, Sean. I'm hearing a couple of people say there could be an issue with sound. I just want to quickly note to you guys, Nicola is still trying to hold $40 even. I never got an entry point retesting 40. I was waiting for in front of that price, like 30s or 40s if we get it. Unfortunately, didn't get that. We're still looking at a 42.50 break at some point. I just have a stop order locked and loaded and ready to go in case we get that break. I just feel like with this flush in the market, that might not come before we get a retest of that 40 even area that we both liked off the open.
Good, yeah, thank you guys. Okay. What I was talking about there was just the fact that Facebook last week had that good news, and we saw it and we crushed it, but it was Facebook Reels last week going to Instagram, the TikTok competitor. So I was just wondering if any of the NASDAQ stocks want to make a move back, Facebook may be the one to focus your energy on because it was strong last week. Look, as you noted, Microsoft or Facebook.
Off, bro. Okay, well, then go to somebody else.
So guys, another flush here in Foot Locker. And again, I could be taking 40, 50 cents on this trade, but remember, I've already taken profit off of half of this. So I'm going to maintain this little target down here in front of that 29 end day quarter, guys. So Foot Locker has been a decent trade. I am still watching Macy's in front of that 7 even. It is what it is. If you guys, hopefully you guys can hear me at least. My mic is still on here. I want to jump over to FedEx. We have not traded FedEx. Sharp turn off of 198 here. So watch this for a nice little ramp up opportunity, maybe in the afternoon, but I'm going to go short in front of it if it's going to be a lunchtime type of trade off that 198 area. Continue to be short in Foot Locker, but also CNDT. It's been a good one for me. I did add to the position when it broke 430. We did add that short in the 440. So, you know, we've had a couple of legs here. We did take a small hit and we got half it out at the first stop area at 450. The second stop was the pre-market high at 56. But we're now in the money on this name and continue to work it to the downside. 420, next level down is my target. And then we have, 415 and hopefully a 4 even bottom that we can get here. That was that pre-market, sort of opening range low that we work with here. But in the money on CNDT, 10 cents. I have taken some profit, not going to take any until we get about 22s.
Okay, so we did take, is the mic working there? Okay, let's get going here. Yeah, don't worry, Jag the Mag, we're back here. We're gonna get that. You want the bangs because it wakes your roommates up. Okay, we'll get that in a minute here. Okay, Apple making a move to the downside. We're gonna short it up until 444 here or so. We'll give it a try. We're light on this one. It's been our worst stock, so we're not gonna put a whole bunch of bank on this one right now, but 44.4 here. We'll wait to see if 444 comes into play. on this name, but right now we are short right here, 441.70 on the break at the low of the day. I think it's worth averaging in, as this could be the day of reckoning right now for tech stocks. We've already got wrecked on it, but we'll wait to see if there's more to come right now. 441.77 are short. I don't know where to cash this thing out. Apple now finally turning negative here on the day. So I don't know, man. This could be close to the bottom here. We'll wait to see if it's going to give it up back to the upside. And we did want to look at JPM as well. We're very light on Apple, guys. We're going to give this one some room. Okay, JPM here still fading off of 102.15. So yeah, everything coming in right now, guys. Watch out for the bottom. And there goes Apple, finally $1 in the money.
Yeah, I mean, Apple to the downside. I'm still in like Foot Locker shorts here. It's getting very close to my target, but I was sort of looking at that 440 here. If it can't consolidate there, I don't know that I have a trade. I didn't have a short look on Apple. I'm not going to necessarily force it. We are getting that yeah, you want me to say it. I see you, STFU. Yeah, and I have no choice. I got to talk about it in CNDT if that's what you're mentioning. Yep, there's that 420 level. I am going to get some out in front of it at 421. That 432 short, it is what it is. If it breaks through, we'll take a little bit more out. But I am still holding for a bigger flush into 4 even. I don't make it a level you random people out there trading do. The one that's not working for me is Top Shifts, $1.47. That's basically holding flat for me. Very, very boring trade, but CNDT starting to really take off to the downside. It's 11, and that means we already have to get to Valeria at the big screen for our European update.
Hey guys, welcome to the European update. Europe mostly in a positive territory, though Russia is down 0.21% and Amsterdam is down 0.43%. Britain is up 0.48%, Spain is leading up 1.29%, and France is up 0.41%. Now let's move to the individual names. British fashion retailer Superdry jumped 18.7% after it agreed for a 91 million lending facility. That's all with the Europe, and I'll keep you updated. Back to traders.
Hey, Superdry. I know one of our traders wears that brand. I don't, because I'm not really all that hip, guys, but certainly worth a look there. I want to quickly jump over to one other name. You did mention a little bit there, AMD. Sean, it's it is sliding off here. It actually just broke 80, kind of a failed break because 80 even tested a couple times, broke through, and now it's trying to come all the way back in. This is a big sort of steep sell-off here. That would be one if it can catch a bit of a base. Maybe you got a scalp to the upside, retaking that 80 level. Trying to get our second target on Foot Locker. Before I do that, there was a ruling that sort of came through opening or paving the way for content producers to be able to own theaters, and AMC had a move, and Cineplex as well on Friday, coming back in today. This was the move I'm talking about on Friday, giving it all back in AMC, and I kind of look at this double bottom here where this entire thing started at 430. And it would feel to me like maybe if there's no kind of update on what this might mean, 430 could be a place to defend. It would give some potential to a takeout of AMC or Cineplex with more suitors possibly opening up there. You know, I'm not going to speculate whether it's like an Amazon, whoever it could be. Those are the rumors from before. But 430, if it bases out, could be a nice little buy here on AMC.
Okay, we just did take $1 on Apple now, so we go 441 out there. That's actually 80 cents, and now it's making its move back to the upside. It did this on us before. We're not going to average in. We're still waiting for 444 to break to the upside here. Maybe we'll take one more average on this bump upside, but I do think maybe now Apple finally looks like, I mean, during this drop, we didn't get much consolidation. We got a little bit right here, but now we're getting some more, and 3 candles upside now on a 1-minute chart. So that should be, could indicate the bottom there, so we take out half. I'm not even worried at all about this position. I'm more looking to see, can we take a bigger position here, breaking through 444. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Not really looking to average into this yet on the downside, but this is a nice little move back up here. Could be a possible spot right now to take some more Apple shares short. Excuse me. We get out of that spot though. So 80 cent win, 80 cent lose. So we flat our Apple trade. Now we're looking for upside 444. We'll give it one more shot and see if it can't make some of this back here on Apple, a 444 break.
Just looking at CGC here, coming right back into the sort of morning low at 1790 here. You look at that sort of first test, second test. It actually broke 18 and gave you 1790s. If it takes this one out, could be a nice little area for some stops to get broken. And then then you take it into maybe, like a little scalp trade there. I'm going to test it here at this time of day, see if we can't take a shot. It's just sort of breaking down now. Again, you can give it to like 18 even on CGC here. I don't know why I didn't get into it. Looks like we broke. Let's see if we can get some shares here into 1790. Give it to like 18, maybe give it to like 18.10. Not a ton of risk in that type of a trade, so we're going to try and put it on here. I don't want to pay all the way down. Bit of a bid at 87. If I can catch it in the middle, maybe we should just pick up the shares. It's starting to go to the downside. There was a level pre-market on very, very light volume at 1780. If it can't break that immediately, I'd have to look to maybe cover it flat, but I don't think that was too big of a level given how light the volume was at that time when it based off of that. Brendan, what do you got?
Just seeing a headline on Gilead here, guys. Gilead spiking to the downside. This has to do with their COVID-19 treatment, possibly. So they filed an NDA to the U.S. FDA for Velcri, not remdesivir. Okay, so it is the remdesivir treatment for COVID-19. So there's headlines coming out right now on remdesivir, guys. So just a heads up if you're trading Gilead.
Yeah, I guess the problem is I don't know what that means. So we'll wait to see. Obviously, they don't like it. So remdesivir to the downside, and we will look at that. Let's see, GILD. Look, I mean, we talk about trading this name all the time, and it doesn't really give you much of an opportunity unless there is news. So right there, okay, back to the downside. Check out a daily chart if you don't understand what I'm talking about. We did break now below, so watch out for these little levels right here. It's just look how choppy this is. It doesn't want to get going. And Gilead, I know how frustrating it's been for shareholders on this name. So yeah, it looks to be another frustration here for them on that remdesivir news. So I'm going to leave Gilead alone, but there is potential there, guys.
Yeah, there's definitely potential on that. Like, it's, for me, I usually like those opening trades on Gilead or any of those types of moves. I did get into CGC here at 87. We'll get some out of the low 70s if we can. Then 1750 is going to be the rest of that target. I do want to quickly jump over to KNDI. It's done some volume today, looking like it's trying to make a bit of a pullback and break down. They reported actually, earnings, and it was kind of a whippy action in the pre-market, certainly, and then trying to get through 9 even off of the open, failing to do so. Now coming back in, it looks like an 850 break could give you a bit of a trade here, and there is a significant buyer on the bid here in front of that 850 at 54 and 53. This gets taken out. I think it's worth a shot at the short trade. Got to go through that at least initially for me to be interested in it. We're in the money on that CGC trade. Like I said, won't take anything off till about 15-20 cents on the first little leg, and then we're looking for a little bit more than that after the break. I want to zoom into Kodak here just so you can see this little pullback halt level from $10, starting to test that. I think first has to go through 10.20. I'd like that level if it wasn't for this 10 even. My next trade on Kodak is going to be a short through 10 even if it does break. We did have only a couple of trades here, guys. The nice short off the open and then a breakout long that I immediately took off. I didn't want to be holding on to longs here on Kodak, but I will take a shot. 10 even break, not this 10.20 is trying to do right now.
We're getting ready for Apple's going to get us in right now, breaking through 444. We'll give this a shot, and then we're going to give it back to 442.50 down and around here. I got to give this one a little more room. So there it is, Apple with the explosion here through 44, and then we go long 44.06. Like, I don't know. Today's not a good day for me on Apple. We get 44.06s there as now it falls back down. So we'll wait on Apple, but yeah, we're going to give this one to 42 and change, hoping that we can get back upside here on a name that we know the street loves, but right now it ain't great. What's up, Brendan?
So yeah, just clarifying on this Gilead, guys. So NDA, non-disclosure agreement, also stands for new drug application. So they filed a new drug application for remdesivir. So a little bit of a negative move initially on that headline, guys, for Gilead. But yeah, it's an NDA, new drug application with the FDA, guys.
There we go. Definitely good correction
Finally.
there,
Yeah.
Brendan. Good to know. I mean, I'm sort of watching Gilead off that, and it's not really doing a heck of a lot coming back in. It's trying to come back upside off a plunge down to like 68.20 until we get some real volume or consolidation pickup. I don't know that I'm going to be involved in this trade. It does look like if you sort of watch that initial spike up to about 68.80 and then where that was trading before, maybe there's a breakout through that price a little bit later on in the day. I don't know how excited that's going to be for me. I did want to, we talked about PEM, but I didn't talk about DraftKings and sort of the same story. Both those names coming back in. Bit of a bounce, at least in DraftKings off the bottom at 31 here. It's trying to get back to the upside. My first shot will be, thinking about what happens at this sort of 32 level. If it does try to roll over, I think there's a scalp trade in front of VWAP that you can have over in DraftKings. Well, you want to have it in PEN or in DraftKings. I don't know that it's a wrong way to go. But I think it is that time of day. We're at 11:10. We pitched that segment to you a little bit earlier. Let's go to Brendan for the introduction guest trader of the day.
Hey guys, yeah, just after 11 o'clock, that means guest trader of the daytime on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, brought to you by Lewis Daniels Watches. Everyone coming on in the month of July and August getting a Lewis Daniels watch. Thanks to Lewis Daniels for that. Just a note, guys, this segment itself has been so popular that we've decided to hold off on getting any new applicants to come on as a guest trader until Labor Day. So no more new applicants for guest trader until September. But we will start again in September. So if you are wanting to come on as a guest trader, hold off until September. We're booked solid right through until I think the end of October at this point anyway. So we got to hold off a little bit. It's been very popular. Let's bring on Raul Waltover, our guest trader of the day for Monday. Good to see you, Raul. It's been an exciting morning so far. How has yours been?
Yes, it has. Good morning, everyone. Brendan, Sean, Neil, Valeria, the whole gang. The day has gone fairly well for me. I've made several trades, following along with much of what you guys are doing, and making some of my normal plays that I make in the days, generally every day as well. So I'm not up big, but no losses, and got a small gain right now at the moment. The only trade I got on the board at the moment is looking for a little move on SRNE at the moment.
Yeah, one that gives you lots of opportunities almost on a daily basis, it seems. Love to hear that you are positive today. It doesn't matter how big, just that you are positive today. Let's get back into it. Here's Neil and Sean.
Hey, welcome, Raul. Good to see you. Welcome to the program here. You mentioned SRNE. I'm not making. I actually did just have this one up. I've been sort of waiting for a place for me to at least try a short. That's kind of like these retracement plays here. I'm watching this sort of like 1740, a little lower high that it's put in, and thinking about shorting off of that. I think you also have the potential to break back towards that price. I mean, the other thing too is if it ever gets below like 1680, I think about shorting it in that way. Are you looking for a secondary breakout to the long, or where are you at with the trade you're hunting at right now?
Yeah, I'm in a long position now. I saw it run up to about the 1785 high, and so I was waiting for a pullback, and it did give a modest pullback down to about 1735, and that's where I came in at. So I'm long at 1735, and maybe about 30 cents out of the money right now. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, definitely always worth looking at. Sometimes these stocks, they do these kind of moves, and Sorrento's one of them. I've noticed at least that there's a secondary push a lot of times at like 1:30, maybe even 2 o'clock. That's why I like playing the pullback at this time. I think certainly if it does make that push, I'd be looking at like that 1740 break, something along those lines. My first look is probably to be short if it breaks 1680. Again, that's a scalp trade into VWAP, so I'm not necessarily holding that more than like 15, 20, 30 minutes or so. In terms of just absolute style here, you mentioned Sorrento. Do you typically trade sort of gappers? Obviously, this one is a big time runner to the upside today, doing a lot of volume, but is that your style? You jump into some of these gappers and big fast movers of the day that are in play, or do you stick to more familiar names on a daily basis, like, whether it's like an Apple?
Great question, Neil. One of the things that I do is I don't play the gappers, and I think I learned a lesson regarding the gappers, because I'm not going to mention the platform that I'm on, but it's a very familiar one you guys have mentioned on the show before from some of you are guests on. But I've learned that the gappers with that platform doesn't go that well because the executions are not as quickly as I want. And as you know, those gappers could move 30, 40, 50, 80 cents in the matter of a half a second. So typically what I do, I would consider myself a dip momentum trader. And if I can define that, basically, I'm looking for momentum. I've learned from you guys. I got a cousin who also trades on a regular basis, so we talk. And so what I've learned that volume is one of the key things, and I've seen your volume videos as well. So if I will trade volume that does not have news, but I will not trade news that does not have volume. So if there's volume, I'm looking at the emails that you guys send out of those volume movers, and that's catching my attention. So I'm looking to make plays on volumes, and then to do dip buying within the trend. So if, for example, let's say SRNE is going up, if there's a pullback in there, but the momentum is still in an uptrend, I'll play that on a pullback for that uptrend to continue, as long as the stock is not starting to roll over. So that's how I would kind of define myself to a degree.
Raul, how's it going, my friend? We've never met, but I'm going to ask you one question. You're a fan of chicken, I assume.
I am.
There it is. It's a chicken dinner winner, finally. We had to do that to you. If we get them when they're on, there you go. It's a chicken dinner winner because look at Apple, finally to the upside, breaking 440. We just took off $1.70. And it actually leads me to a question for you, Raul, here. First one, what is your favorite cut of chicken? Mine, I think, is the wing, but I like the thigh. That's the first question. The second question is, do you ever get hung up on a stock, sort of like I was today in Apple? I just kept fighting the trend, kept going long, and then finally we reversed to short, got flat, then waited for another long spot. So first question, what's your favorite cut of chicken? Second question is, do you sometimes get hung up on the same stock and overtrade it?
All right, first question, wing and leg for sure.
Bang.
That's my favorite. Regarding getting hung up on a stock, I have done that before, especially broken some of the rules that you guys talk about and preach. Don't be married to a trade. And I've seen myself do that. And then I've seen myself do that as well, hung up on a trade, especially if I've taken a loss in that. And then I get into that revenge trading type mentality. And then before you know it, you've lost $400, $500, $600 trying to get back at a stock that's long gone.
You basically just hit it right on the head there, and almost hit it right on the head with the dollar value as well. And that's what happened with Apple there. So we had to give it a little bit of a break. And then just as a lesson thing, and thank you so much, Raul, for pumping sort of our market wisdom and telling all the viewers out there how important it is that you do check out some of those. But look, I left Apple alone basically after losing that $600, $700, $800, like you mentioned there. We left it from 10:03 all the way here till 11. So we left it for a good hour, went ahead, made some money on some others, and now look, we have a $2 winner back on. So sometimes it is about slowing down, regrouping, and then going hard if you see something. Unfortunately, it wasn't super hard because my reads haven't been great, but you do make a little bit of that money back, including right now a $2.25 win right now for Apple. Maybe taking some off right here, guys. We did battle all the way back now on this name. I thought the tech destruction may have been over there and a little overdone. So Apple, nice move to the upside here for me, $2.25 now in the money. Let's take some off, guys.
Yeah, I just want to quickly, I mentioned this in the chat, just want to alert guys. Rocket, RKT, I mean, I haven't made an execution on it today, and certainly it was a fun trading last week, but watch out for this sort of 23.25. It was an opening range bottom, breakdown at that price. Now it's testing it over at least 2 or 3 times here. If it breaks up, and then we get a nice little scalp into VWAP there. As I talk about an IPO here, Raul, it's only traded a couple of sessions. You ever get involved there? I mean, certainly. We've seen trends to the upside. I think it's a sort of an understatement, and I apologize for this little wick here. But trend trading in terms of Rocket gave you an opportunity. As there's no good way to show this with this ridiculous 610 price there in the pre-market. But these IPOs sometimes give you those trends to the upside. They don't give you price history, however, but volume is there. Also, sometimes a good trend up. Do you ever look at those for buy dip strategies that would have worked well for RKT last week?
Yeah, and I'm not trying to pump you guys in any way, but this is the honest truth. If when it comes to IPOs, I typically do not bother those because, as you said, there's no trend behind it. But if you guys have explained it, you talk through it, I'll give it a look. And in fact, I didn't play Rocket, I think, on Friday when they launched. But today, you guys mentioned it, and I've got into it. I've only made one trade in Rocket today, and it was 17 cents to the plus side, and I pulled out of that, made a little money on that. But typically, I don't play the IPO. But if you guys talk about it, I'm certainly giving it a look.
I'm glad to hear that you have a reason. And we talked about this when we did our IPO video, Sean. And I know we mentioned it several times. If you're gonna play IPOs, have like a reason or a limit for why you'll take them or not. Whether it's because we're interested in it, fair enough, or a amount of volume that it might do in the first half an hour, or even better, the size of the issue. I think sometimes we like to talk about the hype. The right industry. I think a lot of the pushes to the upside really dependent on what industry it's going to be in there, guys. I want to quickly sort of recap, just go back to Penn Gaming for a little bit here. Nice bounce off of 45, double bottom here. We talked about DraftKings and Penn both under pressure this morning. Bit of a double bottom that it put in. I did miss this on both names, unfortunately,
what
guys.
Is the draft?
And I missed that 80 even break on AMD. Shout out to anyone that actually bothered to take that trade. I mentioned it and then got away from it, watching a couple of other stocks bounce off here. But I am now watching 46 even. If we can hold here, maybe a breakthrough like 46.50 gives you a scalp trade in Penn Gaming. So I might take a look at that throughout lunchtime. It's the kind of time of day where I don't want to get too far ahead of myself chasing a few names. And I just finally got into Rocket for the first time today. That 23-25 break to the upside here. I just got 31s. Brennan, what do you got?
XTNT on the NYSE ARC exchange here. Xtent, a little medical equipment maker, up 90% so far today. I mean, they've come off a better part of $1. We're coming back to $2 here. This is a decent level for this thing on the daily chart. So see what happens here for XTNT as far as support goes, hopefully. To the long side, they announced a little bit of restructuring when it comes to some of their debt today. So positive news for them, guys.
445.18 here. Thanks, Brendan. And Brendan and Neil, I mean, I missed the news on DraftKings, and I don't know if there was anything, but if there is, if I can get refilled back in here, because yeah, DraftKings down here, 30.83, a monster move to the downside, just crushing levels. I don't know. I thought actually with the PGA, there was a lot of good gambling opportunities. I myself was involved with that. And then also baseball, basketball, hockey playoffs, basketball playoffs coming. So very, very surprised at this move down here on DraftKings. I would say, guys, if you're looking for a longer term play, I like this play down here, but I don't know, man. We're well below this 50-period moving average. So DraftKings straight to the downside here. Not going to go long until we do find out exactly what the problem was. $1.80 now in the money, and that's what I wanted to bring it back to here was Apple. Good trading from 44 long. I'm only giving it to these bottom wicks here, 45 and change. We've cashed out now. Now we'll wait to see the top. And I'm embarrassed, Brendan. Sorry if you mentioned DraftKings before, but what do you got for us now?
I mean, there's nothing really significant. The only thing that people are talking about is the Big Ten college football. There's rumors floating around that might be canceled for this year. So yeah, that might be the headline. But yeah, they don't actually report. I know, Neil, you were looking for the earnings date, August 14th for DraftKings, guys.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, my first thought was like maybe it was in the next couple of days, but it is coming up soon. I missed that, what you said for a cancellation there.
Big Ten.
The Big Ten? Yeah.
You're talking about basketball or everything? Football, okay.
If college football is monster revenue for gambling in the States, for anyone that's not in America, or at least in North America, you can't really underestimate how big a deal college sports are. And for the power conferences to start bowing out, if one goes, they're all going, in my opinion. There's no way that if a couple of these go down, the SEC goes, it's going to be another push to the downside. I want to quickly jump back. Another one of these names, and this time of day here, we'll slow down our trading a little bit, start hunting for very, very particular setups, places to put risk, not just sort of trading anything and everything. And I look for sort of like a sort of wells to break or floodgates to open up on retracement plays a lot of times. And OMER here already pulled back after a parabolic move, still up 50%. But you see this little double bottom at like 21 even. If that gets broken, it's one of those easy sort of scalp trades, maybe gives you 50 cents to $1 in towards some of these pre-market levels. So I'm watching this one. Only question I have with it here is, despite 12 million in shares, I just saw a 10-cent spread. Liquidity is not gigantic for this name. You mentioned that you need volume, Raul, in addition to news, or even without news. How much does liquidity play a factor? Do you have access to look at a level 2 like this? I know for me, a lot of times that'll change in my opinion on a stock. I can look at the volume and say that's great, and then look at the level 2 and say, why is there a gigantic spread? Where's the liquidity for me to access a trade? Is that something you factor into your trades, or is it all just about the actual raw volume?
Yeah, both. The volume is there as well as the liquidity, and I'm definitely watching the spread. I've gotten burned a couple of times, and I'll see a trade, it sets up, I go and make it, and I think I'm in the money, but then when I close it out, I'm actually closing out negative because I didn't realize that particular stock had a 25-cent spread on it at the time at which it was moving. So now I definitely do watch the spread. I wanted to back up something I said earlier when you asked, am I a gap trader? I would say I'm not a gap trader within the first 1 minute, because it's like I said, that market is just moving too fast for me to make executions with the platform I'm using, in my opinion. So I'll wait till the first 2 minutes, and then all of those ones that's on that gap, trading the momentum movers, I will begin to play those once I start seeing the direction in which that stock is going in.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. I like that clarification, because we talk about this all the time, that we have direct market access, and we don't always love those 9:30 trades for some of those same reasons. I think that's an important thing for people to understand. even if the best is a fantastic opportunity at 9:30, if there's just way too much, and I'll use like Rocket as an example here. I'll talk about the win in a second, but you look at that opening candle. This is a 1 minute chart where you're seeing, from 24.30 all the way down about a 70-80 cent move, and it's just really easy, especially with some stop orders, to get wicked out even if you have an opening bias. So for some people, it can be hard to express that trade to their parameters, their risk parameters. If you were going maybe long, hoping it breaks out here, and then you have this little low at 24 even or 23.95 as a stop, you can get slipped like 30, 40 pennies on a move like that. And then you say to yourself, I thought I was only going to lose 30, but I lose 70 or I lose 60. And it's just not acceptable. You want to make sure you can live the fight another day. And that's why, even if you see a setup, sometimes we don't like it at 9:30. I did mention a breakout trade here in Rocket, and again, it's just one of those little VWAP retracements. It's the reverse of what I just said on OMER. It breaks at 25. I get in at 31, some out at 49, some out there at 61. So I'll still hold the last third for hopefully a test of 24 even, but it's already a winning trade. I look for very particular things at this time of day. You don't want to overtrade. You don't want to put too much size on. But if you see a nice trend reversal, I like to be able to play it here. So that was the simple idea here in RKT. My first trade of the day. I know we missed a couple that would have been good, especially this little pullback short. I mentioned 25 even. We both did. It gave you a test of that level and rolled over. I could not pick up the shares there. But I didn't let that FOMO and regret make me chase the trade or do something stupid. We finally get a nice little win here. I'm looking for 24 even. We'll get the rest out, hopefully, for a 50 to 60 cent win in front of that price. Did I hear Brendan has something?
Yep.
Cruise lines, guys. We mentioned the strength in some of the travel stocks, hotels, and cruise lines.
How high is this?
RCL, the one from this morning that reported in the pre-market here. New day highs there on a volume spike, so back above this, didn't get to 58, but 57.75, 57.80 area for RCL, guys.
Okay.
Sounds making me hungry, by the way. Just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, the thing is, I have a fruit salad here, so we can do that in a minute, Rob. On DraftKings, which part of the U.S., I assume you're located in the U.S., I missed where you're from, Raw.
Yeah, I'm from the Metro Atlanta area, Georgia.
Okay. So college sports, obviously monstrous there. Any sort of a shutdown, I assume, would be devastating for there. I mean, obviously, we don't have to talk about Georgia and some of the teams that are over there. That would be monstrous as far as if they imagine NCAA football getting shut down. I can't. Explain maybe, and I apologize if you're not a sports guy, but how big are college sports in the U.S.?
Yeah, it's huge, and especially being in the South.
Right.
Neil mentioned earlier the SEC, which in my opinion is the king of all the conferences in college football. Me being a Florida Gator fan, I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and went to school at University of Florida. So that's the team that I follow, even though I'm in Georgia, the Georgia Bulldogs. But I'll root for them only when they're not. But it's huge here, and if that season does not go forward, it's going to have a great impact, economic impact, and even a mental impact, in my opinion, on the psychological effect on people, because it's so much entrenched as part of the culture, the tailgating, the game shows, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, you just made an incredible point. It's psychological. It's a big thing, and we're sort of getting caught here talking about the effect it could have for DraftKings and Penn from a betting standpoint. But that's a fantastic point there. I'm going to quickly say that you're a Florida guy, so I will say thumbs up to Percy Harvin. I have his jersey, but I have to do this as a longtime Bills fan. Thumbs down to Emmitt Smith. He's great. He was great, but I hate everything about the Cowboys for beating us twice.
Wow.
And come on, Sean. You know how painful it is when you have a Super Bowl appearance 4 years in a row and lose. So I don't like the Cowboys very much. But definitely a fantastic point that you made. And we're going to watch those headlines because you cannot be trading, and we've seen this time and time again. You can't trade in DraftKings or Penn without watching for any news that comes, whether it's in baseball and now college sports. Brendan, what do you got for us there, bud?
Another one, guys, that just popped up once again on a volume scanner here. SeaWorld, Seas, they reported this morning in the pre-market as well. Even with everything that has happened, the shutdown, the pandemic, everyone staying at home, SeaWorld, they reported a loss. The per-share loss was in line with expectations, but revenue actually beat. So a little bit of a beat here for SeaWorld, moving back to the upside, now up 5%, guys.
I mentioned that earlier. One of the members there mentioned C's in the Lewis Daniels sponsor. Also, Trader TV Live. Pick up your sticker here. We put it on our Hydration Nation. Very important to keep on drinking up there as we go. Okay, just want to give you guys an update here. I'm out of Apple on that flush, but I want to go back long again if we take out these highs. 446.70 and change. We're going to put our faith in Apple again. I just talked about that, Raul. Don't touch something if you're not good on it. it, or not been positive on it today. We made back a decent chunk there of our Apple. Still my worst stock of the day, but I think the trend is going to be our friend here. Oh, and I really want to talk about, look at this, guys. Simon Property Group. We give it one more shot here at 66 and change. We put on a big position, so I can't give it too much love. And then we had to get out there for about a 50-cent loss. Drops all the way down. We're flat on the stock on the day. This was a big move up. We did get ruined on the first move down, or sorry, long and then down there. But now we'll wait to see as it's taking out the tops here. Simon Property Group, sometimes you got to stick with your guns. But again, a little too overloaded right there in the market tanking. So we did have to get down. And Raul, that's another thing. Again, you mentioned some of the stocks that you trade, some of the lower valued ones as well. Obviously aren't going to watch the futures, but maybe since you started watching the show, do you ever take into consideration the S&P 500, what the market's doing, and then you sort of use that as a backstop for some of your trades? I know a lot of traders don't initially do that, but Neil and I, we hate to be short if the market starts rallying up almost no matter the name. Any opinions on that thought?
Yeah, to a small degree, not as much as like a person like Arun would be doing, but just to have a precursory look on what the overall market is doing. I like to see it as a trend within a trend. Right. So if you're trading a particular stock, you want to trade within the momentum trend of that stock. But then that stock itself is trading within the trend of the sector that it's in, and that sector is trading within the trend of the overall market. So you want to see how all three of those line up. And if there's variations between them, that's fine. But if the Dow is dropping or the NASDAQ is dropping, 800-900 points, and you're trying to hold long on a tech stock, that may not be the right thing to do. And so I'll use it as a precursor, but not necessarily to make every trading decision that I go into.
So not the be-all, end-all, just a good little look there. Yeah, no, I agree 100%, and that's what happened to me today. You saw Apple, the same thing. We tried the top, taking that out, thinking it was going to be a positive day. Averaged in here at VWAP, that missed. Thought we were cute, averaging in here at the end of the day. That missed again, and then finally getting back. So good point there. And again, sounds like, how many years experience, Raul, for you? Sorry, I missed at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a quick background here.
Sure.
I've been trading loosely off and on since about 2001 was the first time I did any kind of serious trading. Bought a couple of stocks, didn't have success, and it was right around when MCI was folding. That was one of my first losses. Then I tried options. I've tried Forex a couple of times. I've tried E-minis several times, not to any real degree of success. And in fact, one of the greatest compliments I got was from my wife since I've resumed trading here. I've resumed getting back in the trading back in March, beginning of March. And one thing she said to me, she said, you've done a lot of trading, but this is the first time you've been in it as long as you have. And, I just took that as a compliment because the previous times I didn't have great success with it. But that coincided with my re-entry into the trading market at this time as a day trader, coincided with stumbling across you guys.
Oh, wow.
And I've started watching you and just pouring into your videos, listening to what you were doing. And I've learned so much, learned a lot. As I mentioned earlier, I got a cousin, Reg, I think he's one of your members as well. I turned him on to you guys, and we're constantly bouncing ideas across one another. So this time around for me is much greater. And I want to just share with everyone. I know I've said some things earlier, used certain jargons, but I don't want to come off as if I've been a long-term successful trader for the past 10 or 15 years. These last 6 months have been the most successful trading that I've had in the 12, 15 years that I have traded. And it's because I've learned so much. And if I could just briefly touch on this, it's three principles that I've been following, and I go by these. When you're day trading, you got to overcome fear, you got to overcome greed, and you got to overcome your emotions by managing your risk. And in my opinion, I believe every person should day trade in their lives. The reason why, day trading teaches you so much about yourself. You may not think that you're a person that got fear, but start day trading, it'll be exposed. You might think you're a person that don't have greed. Start day trading. You'll see the greed exposed. You might even think that you're a person who has great discipline. Start day trading, and you'll see that you'll break those same disciplines. And so I've learned so much in this process. And as I said, from watching you guys, I just thank the Lord for everything that I've been learning these past 6 months here.
We'll hit the
Raul, don't take our jobs here, buddy. That's actually a great line there. You talk about, regardless of what you think about yourself, you're going to learn when the market does kick you in the junk. And I don't care who you are. At some point, the market is going to get you. That's what it's good at. Certainly, I want to quickly jump back into a couple of trades here. I just want to get back to CNDT. You talk about having a little bit of discipline. I took off half of my initial short when it retested tested 450. It's going to limit the amount I won on the way down, but we did get bottom wick on that 420 area. We then broke even on the last of our trade. I didn't go long, unfortunately. This was an accidental long that I immediately take off. If I get a reversal that I didn't want, I just take it out for flat. Had I hung on to it, it would have won 15 cents, but you can't win by breaking your rules. That won't last very long. I talked about the break trade of a pre-market top. That's what I wanted to wait for at 455. We got that, worked it up to 475, took some shares out. I'm holding about a third of that position. If it retests and breaks 450, I'll get out. I might try one reload at 55. And again, it just sort of goes to discipline here. I think that was the setup we were waiting for. I didn't want to get chopped up in the middle end of the range at lunchtime. That's something you'll hear Sean and I say a lot. It's either I'm watching for a big breakout or a good level I can play off of or a definite trend that I can play into. So CNDT was a nice little win for us there. And I want to jump back over to Foot Locker, which I did take another leg out, bouncing back up. Almost testing that 30 even, right to my break-even price. The second time it tests 29.50, I will take some shares out. I'm still holding the last quarter, looking for a break of 29 even, and maybe we'll get out down to 28.50. But Foot Locker is holding up pretty well here, so I'm going to now move my stop from 30 to break even. And the breakout is going to still be at 30.50. I know it looks pretty good if it takes out 30 even. I'm going to stick with the guns of what we liked in the pre-market with that 30.50 area. When it comes to sort of looking at the afternoon type of trade there, Raul, do you trade into the close? First of all, if you don't, what are your reasons for maybe doing it or not doing it? Is there something particular you like? I like some breakouts at like 1 or 130 if we can catch them. But maybe think about that for a quick second because Brendan has something for us.
I just noticed Organogram. Guys, we talked about Canopy, the one that reported, but OGI just popping up here. A huge volume spike just came in on OGI, 4.7%. The entire group positive today, but big buyer on OGI, guys.
All right, we're just, I'm looking around here. We did take Apple long again on this break. We just took some out at 50. We'll wait to see how high this wants to go, but we're testing the waters once again here with Apple long 440, 680. So not a great spot there. I thought we were going long in the 40s here, but I guess I put my order high side. I don't know why my order would be up here. Should have been down at this area, but that's okay. We're only going to give it back to 445, 80 or so. We're not giving this one a lot of room to go. So there you go. You got to learn your lesson. Like we talked about a little bit, we don't want to give back what we made on this nice move up. So smaller stop zone there. We did take some out for an average once we realized we have the wrong price. And sometimes that could happen there, Raul. You ever made a mistake? I know you're back into it. And again, thank you so much for the kind words. And thank you for getting the show on to some of your family members as well. But have you ever made a keystroke error? Maybe you put in the wrong amount of shares. Maybe instead of buying Tesla, you bought TSLA instead, or TLSA, whatever the wrong one is. Is keystroke something that you've experienced? I hope not. Fingers crossed for your answer to be no. But I think if you're in this game long enough, like you have been there, whether or not it be Forex, equities, whatever, sometimes keystrokes can happen. Any stories about that, or maybe that hasn't happened to you?
Yeah, well, let me let you relax your fingers. You can uncross your fingers because I've made that error multiple times before. And, you're trying to go long, but then you hit the wrong hotkey and you find yourself shorting. You see the stock going in the direction which you think it is, but then you start looking at your P&L and you see that number is not going in the green. So that has happened. Right. One of the key mistakes that I've made often is, let's say, Boeing is one stock that I pretty much have on my radar every day. I like it's more of a range trading stock for me, and I can find that range pretty often. So, but there are times where now I'll open up maybe, let's say, 50 shares in Boeing, and then it may go in a certain direction. I may add another 100. So now I'm 150, and I've changed my number of shares to 100. So now when I'm trying to close that out, I'll close it out, but it only got me out of 150 still on the board. I'll hit the key again to close out. Now I'm in a buy for 50. Right. And I found bouncing back and forth between closing and buying before I finally realized you changed the number of shares in the window. You got to go and change that back. So that's happened to me on a number of occasions. I try and minimize those, but it still occurs.
It happens to everybody. I think literally a few minutes ago I talked about, I did the same thing on CNDT when I was sort of, I worked my way in and out of it, multiple executions, and then when I'm covering the last short, I accidentally reverse into a long position just immediately, and that's my rule. you just immediately take it off, in my opinion. You pay the spread, whatever it might be, even if it's like you're getting out of the short. For me, I was getting out for a reason that I thought it was heading back up. It didn't mean that I had a plan to go long or a solid reason to go long particularly. It ended up being a win, but I don't look at that as success. I just want to, you mentioned SRNE right off the bat. First of all, your long position, so congratulations there. I'm alerted now to this one as it made another test at this high of day. If it takes out that 1785, I'd break into a long, but it just turned around, pennies shy of that here. So, I would certainly endorse anybody with direct market access, maybe thinking about a short. I am certainly in front of that 85. I can reverse to the long all I want, and then maybe have 10, 15 pennies worth of risk to see if it can come back in to that 1720 to 1730 range. But it does look like we're going to get a shot, hopefully, at a 1785 break. If we get that, I think it'd be rather nice. But hopefully, maybe, I don't know if you've taken some profit on that one, Raw. Definitely a nice call with the upward trend on the dip buy. But if it takes out the top, I've seen this before, whether it's lunchtime, 130, 130, you can see that secondary push be almost as good as what you saw in the morning.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Is like I said, I got in at 1735 on a pullback. I just got out of it at 1770, and I'm waiting for it to take out 1785 if it does.
Yeah, I'm just sort of adjusting my order because I'm definitely thinking, at least at this time of day, I like taking a shot. And again, with direct market access, we can get paid to sit on the offer. So I can just collect shares risking a very small amount, like 10, 15 pennies. I think maybe you get to move down into 30 or something like that. And then I have a tight stop, which I'm going to go long anyway. So use the same stop order to flip from short to long. But Brendan has something for us. What do you got?
Still looking for a reason for this, but Acer here on the NASDAQ, guys, just ripped $1. 460 on a volume spike at the bottom there. Just tagged 560 in a straight line here. So Acer, not the monitor computer maker. This is a therapeutics company, but going to keep looking for ACER, guys.
Okay, Acer, good look there. We'll look to see what's going on with that. And that's the other thing, man. You need someone, you need to find out some news base. I think that's a very strong point that the show does have as well. Okay, Fastly in and out there quickly. 79, 30, 79. We get it again here at 79. So we're back long Fastly again. We got wicked out there on that move down, which is fine. Zero loss, but now we get a better price. 79.04. I do like Fastly here. We talked about them last week. This can be a big mover. So we're back long right now, 79.16, giving it to this bottom wick here, 78.80, 78.80, 78.75. Not giving it much room now as time of day is not on our side, and we've talked about that a few times here as we go. We need to make sure that we're trading when there is some volume. So Fastly, big time mover. Let's see if we can make some money on it.
Absolutely, and just I went to go look at that SRNE. I got to pay for shorts, and for that style of trade, I don't know that when you're scalping, you're basically 10, 15 cents worth of risk for a scalp style trade. I'm not looking for a huge winner to the downside there, so I'm probably not going to be interested in paying it. It'll be only that upward break now if I got to pay for shorts. I want to get back to CNDT here because I did take out half the position here, just over half in front of that 475 top. It's trying to, I thought we'd get some consolidation, giving me an entry back in again at around 450. That hasn't happened just yet, so I am basically sitting here with a 450, slightly lower than break even stop on this trade. We'll just go with that. On CNDT, Sorrento, no short like I just mentioned, but it did just take the top off. So I'm going to be long in SRNE. Late to the party, Raul, you got a much better price than me on this trade. What I will say is a lot of times you get this break, and it'll be taking out the top around lunchtime, and the first thing it tries to do is shake everybody out that just got long. I'd be looking at about 1760 for that. If it breaks below, maybe I'll get out, but otherwise if it bounces in front of like 60s, I'll try to pick some more shares up on that little shakeout. Just one trade I like at lunchtime in particular.
Yeah, that's great. And one thing I wanted to mention from what I've learned from you guys is it's a principle that I've come up with that I call, oftentimes traders, as day traders, we commit what I call day trading adultery. That means you know exactly what you're supposed to do. In my case, I got my 3 principles: overcome fear, overcome greed, overcome your emotions by managing risk. But yet I'll still see myself violating those vows that I've made to myself, and I find myself committing trading adultery. And if you commit adultery too much, and sometimes just in one case, what's going to happen is that in a marriage case, you're not going to have that marriage long, and in day trading, you're not going to have that account long. So one thing that I was going to mention to you guys as a suggestion is I know you just did a video recently about the difference between investing and trading, but I would like to suggest that you do a video strictly on the mindset and the psychology of day trading. I believe the mindset of a day trader is completely different than any others. It's a different type of a personality that you need to have developed into. And I think that may be a good video to put out there. And in that video is what I also call zombie trading. And that zombie trading is when you know not to do something, but like you're magnetized to take yourself to the cliff of the abyss. You know you shouldn't be doing it, but yet anyway you're going to go do it. You know you need to get out of the trade, but you don't. And that's mental. That's a mindset. And I'm still working with that today. And if you guys got any insight on that, I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, you say it. We're like I like that topic. We're always looking for topics, and to be honest, we tend to do almost everything that you guys I mean our guest traders, I mean all of our members, I mean all of our viewers. If you tweet at us, we'll do those topics. I like it. We're gonna put that one on the board and make sure we get to it. Trading psychology.
I just like that it's called zombie trading.
Yeah, I mean first of all too,
I'm down
because
with
you got all these tenants. You have fantastic analogies here. Like I said, can you stop taking our job here, Raul? But I absolutely love that one. We're gonna throw that one. We're gonna throw that one in there for sure. I did pick up a reload in SRNE. I'm late to the party, of course, but if it gets past 60, fair enough. I'll call that one kaputs and risk about 20 to 25 pennies. If it does take out 18, that's when I'll start taking it out. And ultimately, if it doesn't break 18, it's not a good enough trade anyways on that type of a break. So SRNE first leg in upside for me. If I lose on this trade, however, then it starts to come into my little category of being a short for the rest of the afternoon, or at least potential short if I can catch an entry point there at SRNE. I did also, and as I say it, there's a roller coaster flushing me out at 60s. I'm not going to immediately jump into a short here. I would like to see hopefully some consolidation and maybe give me something a better price to roll over on. But a quick in and out. We try 20 cents, and it actually comes to the southbound trade on SRNE. I'm not going to jump in just yet. I wanted to see consolidation. Brennan, what do you got?
Just seeing this as another SPAC moving around today, guys. Fortress Value Acquisition Corporation to the upside once again. Huge volume behind this as well. Still digging to find a reason here, but just went from 1160 to 1260. They actually announced their merger intent way back here. If you remember, we mentioned it on the show a few weeks back, but FVAC coming back to life a little bit here on volume, guys.
Okay, yeah.
And there's the sponsor, and I'm definitely glad, Raul, that you're going to be getting one of those bad boys. Lewis Daniels, we want to shout out to our sponsor for all of our guest traders getting that watch. As Brendan did mention, it's been just wildly popular, so we are putting a bit of a hold. As we're literally booked for months with the guest traders. We're putting a bit of a hold on people applying and taking those interviews, but we have a lot of fun doing this, Raul. I mean, you've been a fantastic guest here. I'm going to quickly we only have like 15 minutes left in the show. I want to recap just a couple of things that I'm actually holding here. You can obviously see at the bottom, but a bit of a test back down towards 23 on Rocket. I did have that breakout into VWAPs. We got that 25 breakout. Took some out for what ended up being a 35-cent win at the top. It didn't quite get into 24 where I would like to get out for about like a 50, 60 cent win. It's making another test now. I'll probably take it this time if it gives me 40 or 50. Could be a secondary break at 24 even if we can catch that. And I still have that short trade in Foot Locker. We've been in this one for a while, guys. It hasn't given me a heck of a lot of reason to get out, but I did mention one thing. I have moved my stop to break even at 29.80. We have taken a few slight wins on this one, like 30, 40 cent scalp wins. I'm still holding out for a bigger move down past 29, but my stop has moved up a couple of times. It's now sitting at break even at 29.80. Foot Locker has been far more sleepy than I had anticipated. I thought really it would roll over if it failed to get past 30. It didn't get past 30, but it just has not moved to the downside here. So could be a sleepy trade, but I moved my stop now. I have my target. I can kind of go hands off for the rest of the day. I definitely don't want to overtrade something which is not proving to be as volatile as I expected. I think that's one thing you have to do at lunchtime. Raul, do you have any particular, I'm putting you on the spot here because we talk about overtrading, we talk about sticking to your plan. Do you have any drills or little things you do to make sure you stick to your rules, sticky notes, anything like that, or something, a mantra you sort of whisper to yourself when you get in or out of a trade?
Yeah, I try and repeat those things that I said. I try and keep it simple. As I said, those three principles again, overcome fear, overcome greed, overcome your emotions by managing your risk. I say that before I start trading. And then after a losing trade, I'll say the same thing. And one of the mindsets that I'm really trying to develop, and this is why I mentioned that thing about the psychology of trading, is that to be a successful day trader, which I'm growing to be one, not there yet, but growing to be one. And that is, you almost have to have a mindset as a major league pitcher after he has given up a home run, or a quarterback that just got through throwing a pick six. You got to come right back, line up, and go for the next thing, and can't sulk over that. And so all of those emotions I'm still working through and developing, and so that's all part of it. One of the things that also that I'm noticing is that I'm getting much better and have a good grasp on reading the charts, looking at the candlesticks, knowing where the resistance and the support is. But Neil and Sean, one of the things that I struggle with is staying in the trade when it's a winner. I'll stay in a loser longer than I would a winner, and everything in me is telling me not to do that, but yet I still find myself doing it. And there have been days that when you guys are trading, I find myself, I'm in the same stock as you all. I know why I'm in the stock, also confirm what you guys have said. And I'll hear all the comments. I'll hear, Sean with his bang. I'll hear the chicken dinner winners. Brandon's dropping knowledge. Valeria flossing. Rinse and repeat. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm hearing all of these things while you guys are making money on the same one I'm trading. That you're trading, making money on, I'm losing. So another question I have for you now is, how do you stay in a winner long enough to grab as much as you can out of that winner? And I'll be in a winner for 15, 30 cents, maybe 40 cents, and I'm out. But the stock would take off another $2, and I'll wait for a pullback to get back in.
Okay, first of all, I will say this. Everybody sort of struggles with that. And there's a spectrum of styles of trader I've found, and it's like either this is a big problem for you and maybe you're like risk averse, so you're really good at limiting losses, you're cutting off trades, and then it's very likely if that's you, because that can be me, and that's how I've always been, where I have to always work to hold longer. And I find things like having trailing stops, or having a hard line in the sand, or buying dips. Like, those are the types of things I've had to incorporate into my trading. Putting a target in and saying, like I just mentioned on Foot Locker, putting a target in, I've taken my profit, now I got my target, now I got my stop, and I try to go hands off. Like, little things like that definitely can be part of it. I would also suggest, like, you'll see, Sean and I will go from scalping to holding trades as well. We try to do the best to tell you what our target is, what our intention is with that trade, because sometimes we are just looking for a quick little in and out scalp as a day trader, and other times you're looking for that big move, but everybody deals with it. You'll hear us candidly say all the time, how many times do you hear Sean say he's talking to Arun about holding for bigger winners and then catching those $2, $3 wins? It's a process, man, and everybody deals with that. All you can do is find what works for you. I think finding trails, having hard lines in the sand can work. Setting a target is my personal goal there. I'll usually have an idea of where I think it might be able to go and know that I have to have some on board if it gets there. Hopefully that answers your question. I know Sean definitely has to have thoughts on that.
Yeah, I do, but right now for Brendan, what up?
Just watch Microsoft here, guys. Just moving around on some volume coming in. The South China Morning Post reporting that talks with TikTok will doubtfully end in a deal. So South China Morning Post reporting that they probably won't end in a deal between TikTok and Microsoft, guys.
Oh, okay, not good. Apple ripping to the upside right now, though we don't have any on board here. We did get out of our Apple, but I just want to give you guys an update because, yeah, wow, here we go. I don't know if that's good or bad news or not for Softy. They seem to like it, I guess. But we'll see if that report is anything. And no, you know what? I mean, it happens all the time, and that's just about trying to hold on to winners a little bit longer than normal. And I think that, a good example here, Raul, is CCL. I mean, I go long here right off the bottom basically today, and 1460. Look where I'm out the majority of it, right? 80s, 81s, 82s. Why was that? It's because that was the high right here, right? And I think that a lot of trying to hold on, I always try to keep 10%. We do talk about that, and thanks for Neil to bring that up as well. But generally speaking, Raw, I mean, it's just going to have to be the shares that you hold and how much risk you're going to give it. And I mean, look, if you're going to trade CCL with like a couple hundred shares, then yeah, maybe you can afford to hold this because your target to get out might be somewhere down here, right? For me, when I went into this trade, even if I have 1,000 shares, if it drops 20 pennies against me, then I have to know that's a $200 hit. Is the trade lined up enough to sort of justify that kind of a hit? If it is, great. And in this situation, I believe that it was. And again, it's just about the shares. It's 9:42 in the middle of the day. So again, when you take that, you do have an opportunity to go to the upside. But look, hindsight, one of our good friends brought that to our attention and said, look, trading, a lot of that is going to be about hindsight, unfortunately, Raul. And you can look back and say, oh my God, I missed that trade, or what happened there. But look at Apple here. I mean, if I hold on to all of these trades, how bad does it get? And that's, again, what you mentioned. A lot of the times you'll be in winning trades, but then, wow, holy crap, I just lost double, triple, 5 times the amount that I thought I was going to lose because I held on to it a bit longer. And I think here's another example. I have 19 years experience trading equities. Look, we go long Apple there. I'm thinking that this is going to break lower because of the trend today. It doesn't, pops up. I wind up taking a 50 or 60 cent loser when it would have been about $1 winner. So again, time of day and risk management on the share size, I think, is very important for that. So I hope some of that little talk helps you out there with only 5 minutes to go, guys.
Yeah, I think that was fantastic. Sorry, Sean, your Simon property, $68 it's about to break right now. So
I mean, look at that. That's another
taking the
example.
top off as well.
Look where we go long here, Simon Properties, here, Raul, and everybody else. We go long on the breakthrough VWAP. We get it all out right here. We try another long there. We don't get that, and we have to take it out right here before it pops all the way back up. So a lot of the times, you got to stick to your guns. And, I mean, did I know it was going to stop at VWAP and pop back up? Hell no. But look at the futures. Nice recovery. We thought we were in trouble earlier. Nice recovery in the S&P.
Yeah, I mean, I love that look. Sorry, I just want to interject. We only have like 5 minutes to go. I just want to mention I'm in that rocket. I still have a little bit. I'm moving my stop from 23 even. I just see it sort of wick down below that break even, that 23.25 breakout that we had, and a couple of fake outs there. It's not like it fails at the same price point. I don't want to sit here turning a winner into a loser. We've already taken profit on 2/3 of it. I'm going to move my stop just slightly up here, a few pennies here, just to preserve at least a winner on the or flat on the last little third here. It's just the spread is starting to open up. It's getting a very sleepy trade when it comes to volume. Maybe we get a bigger push. I just don't want to lose on that last little bit of RKT, guys.
All right, rocket going to the upside here. Apple going to the upside as the market continues to rocket. And Simon Property Groups, I mean, I'm just happy because I own this stock, but we're flat on it today. We could have made a little bit more money. Like I said, there's the buy early on, and then the out, and then the outs again, and then a nice little buy backside. And Apple's been continuing to be a problem. Let's check back on Microsoft QuickTime here before we go. Not much happening on that news there, then perhaps getting up TikTok. I think TikTok's a huge win for whoever gets it. So let's go check out on Twitter. Maybe that's part of the issue. But you know what? The thing about it all is, guys, TikTok could easily become basically defunded, because if they're unable to operate in the US, their value for ByteDance obviously goes way down, and President Trump's only given that 45 days. So now it's like sub 40 days because it was last week. So I don't know if it's September 1st, but they're not going to have a lot of success if they can't get that deal done. What up, big man?
Hey guys, yeah, it's about that time. Couple minutes to go here. I was just going to double check on Simon Property Group. The earnings is what we are looking at. We do have a very, very full earnings board to get to. I'm going to double check. It is, I believe, tomorrow morning, but it could also be after market tonight. But yeah, very full board. Why don't we throw up the board, guys, and I'll just double check whether it is, after market tonight for SPG, guys. So you'll see Simon Property on this board. But yeah, wow, there's
what?
Quite a few, to say the least. NEO up there, NIO. A couple of pharmaceutical names on there, too.
Before we get to that, Sean, I don't know if you saw this one. Just want to point out, thank you for the super chat, a Comedy Ninja for Sean's call on Simon Property Group. That board is a little bit overwhelming, but we mentioned one name, and we just said Simon, of course. Neo, watch out for Oxy. We've seen the energy get back into play here, guys. So do not sleep on those. And then Novavax. Which typically has been a nice little runner, giving you a bit of a reason to look at that tomorrow. But that is a bit overwhelming. You try to pare it down to a few names usually. I want to quickly ask you, Raul, do you use earnings as a catalyst? Is this something that's going to be appealing to you, looking at a board like this and picking a few names in anticipation that they might be on your radar in the morning?
Yeah, I'll typically use it as a cautionary. I try and stay away from trading when earnings are being released. I'll trade after the release to make sure that the trend is going. Because what I've noticed over the years is that oftentimes an earnings report will come out and you think it's a positive report, but the stock actually trades down the next day, and then vice versa. I see the same thing. So I don't use it as a play to determine an entry or an exit, but I make myself aware of it to stay away from it if an earning is about to be released during trading time.
That's what I love to see. I
Look
mean,
at Simon Property Group here.
I mean, like you got the call for Simon Properties, a super chat for that. We just got a super chat. Thank you, Dustin and Green Day, and he says, "Give it to the speaker." So that is a tribute to how fantastic of a job you've done here today, Raul.
Yes, thank
we've
you,
had a
Raul.
blast with you here, and I will say best of luck, hopefully, to the SEC and your Gators. But there's one thing we got to do before we get out of here. At some point we're going to be and this one's going to come up. Because I've already kind of seen out of the corner of my eye what day it is. And I can tell you, I just got done missing out on s'mores camping because I had to put my daughter down to go to sleep when we had a little bit of a trip, but we have some. I'm probably going to have some tonight. I just spoiled it for you because I absolutely love these. Valeria, you got to give it to us.
Hey guys, and hello Ralph. Thank you very much. Great.
Mike.
It's on, but I don't know what's wrong. So, hey Raul again. I wish you a great trading day and all the luck with your trades. Guys, thank you very much for spending this Monday with us. And subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. And join us every day at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. For now, go watch our next educational video about how to profit from trading the trend. And as usual, I'm saying what national day is today. So thank you, Neil. Hopefully you will enjoy because today is National S'mores Day.
There's a 1 million.
My kids even get s'mores at Dairy Queen. There's a Dairy Queen Blizzard, not topping, but I guess what do they call it, combination, that is s'mores. And if you don't know s'mores, then you don't know what you're missing out. Even glamping had some s'mores for us as well. So we love s'mores. And Neil, I don't know what the kid going to bed has anything to do with you missing s'mores.
No,
to me, that would mean more s'mores.
No, so what happened was, candidly, I fell asleep putting my daughter down,
there we go.
and so I missed out on one of the campfires where we had s'mores. But it's okay, we got a package at home. I want to have a fire in the back because I don't have a pit. Maybe I'll work on that at some point. But I want to know, Brendan, usually have some kind of twist on these, but do you like the s'mores, my good friend?
I typically am not a fan, but in this case, I'll let it slide. And there's also a very good home tip for s'mores. Barbecues work very well, guys, for s'mores at home.
Okay, I'm going to try that one out.
Brendan with the pro tip there.
The pro tip. Raul, what do you think about the s'mores?
I've had them before. I've tried them. They're a little bit on the sweet side for me. And I don't know if you're going to ask me the question, Dave, but I'll lead into it. As far as my favorite fruit, growing up in Fort Lauderdale, it's mango, hands down, without a doubt.
That's what
I'm feeling mango.
I love the mango.
Unfortunately, I cleaned up my spot here. If you guys can find the fruit salad, you can hit it, but I don't have it on my board anymore. But yeah, fruit salad today has been pretty good. Brought to you by Apple today. So, I mean, I don't know what's going on. It seems like 90%, there it is, 90% were apples in here today. So great call on mango. We all love mangoes. The only problem is hard to cut. But again, Neil has a life hack for that as well. Maybe you do too as well, Raul. But my kids loving mangoes. So good on that, Raul.
You got to appreciate eating the seed. Like, to me, it's like just eat the seed. Otherwise, you can literally suck the juice out if it's fresh. But you got to know how to pick a fresh mango. The West Indian blood in me is the reason I can. But that's my favorite fruit, Raul.
Yeah, guys, if I could, just for a moment, just a quick story here. When I was younger growing up, my mom, mango fan, she used to tell me if I go and cut the mango up for her, I can have the peels. Well, I was cutting the fattest peels you've ever seen in your life. That's what she gave me. And I also want to end with this, if you guys don't mind. And oftentimes you guys ask the day trader why people should watch this show. And as I said, I'm not pulling your chain, but this is the honest truth for me. When my routine in the mornings, I come, I watch the morning gapper, see what's moving, what the volume is. I'll do my research. Then I'll turn you guys on at 9 and to hear your take on what I'm looking at. And then one of the major things that I've seen is that the knowledge in which Sean is dropping in one particular day, July 24th, while we all were trading ABUS, and I saw Neil go from a long to a short to a long and actually call the bottom of the long, just like Muhammad Ali would in what round he's going to knock somebody out in, and it reversed on the penny, not the dime, but the penny. So to everyone watching, subscribe to the show, become a member of the show, because, you know, right now these guys are doing this for free, and let's keep it that way. And I'm eternally grateful for what you guys are doing. So thank all of you, Brendan, Valeria, all you guys.
It's humbling to hear that. I can't say thank you enough from the entire team here. We've had an absolute blast with you. And look, we intend on keeping it free. That's been the plan all along. We appreciate the members and the support that you guys give us. Definitely, look, Raul, you've been a fantastic guest. Enjoy that watch when it comes. I wish we could give you a dozen for how fantastic of a guest that you've been, and I hope maybe we can have you back in the future. You know what we got to do at this time? It's time to get some lunch for all of us and wrap this thing up. Got to go down the line. Valeria, give us that. Give us the heart. There it is. And of course, Hydration Nation is in full effect.
Yeah, it's in full effect, but it's
Oh,
only
God,
at 9
Sean,
o'clock. It's
come
only
on,
at
man.
9 o'clock. It's at
What?
9 o'clock.
You gotta stick to it, my good friend. But certainly having a lot of fun today. And Brendan getting a lot of breaking news to us on this morning, and hopefully he does this every single day. You gotta stay tuned, even just for that. We don't have to trade blind because we got you, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a busy one, guys. 10, some stock named 10, up 13%. Just looking at that one right now, guys.
There it is.
He never stops working.
Never stops. I mean, this guy always has to bring you one last one before he gets out of here. As always, I am Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot, Raul.